One, and hello everybody. We are back here for episode 6 of the Crystal Crusaders. I am your DM, Brad, as always, joined by my lovely players Thor, James, Zach, Mike, um, and perhaps in the future, somebody else. But for now,
Nah,
that's
nah,
it.
nah, nah, nah.
Our
Just the
teachers.
four of them. But um,
DNA was
yeah,
made for four people,
we.
so whatever.
We are ready to just kick things off here with a bit of a recap of what happened last time. Back around in the order, we are getting our recap delivered today by Thor, also known as Alquil Redmoon. You go ahead and whenever you're ready, tell us what happened last time on the Crystal Crusaders.
Another day, another disaster. I don't remember much, but I remember coming to underneath the body of the large frost giant, Nibelung, crouched over me. I heard some shouts of some roar like shouts, as well as Lucas, I think, speaking in some strange language. After moments, the giant's corpse was lifted off of my body, and this large red dragon would use his claw to heave it to the side. He looked down at me with his one good eye, the other one destroyed by an old scar, and spoke more in that way strange dragon language of his. Um, Though after a little bit of talking between him and Lucas, they switched to common. Turns out that the dragon is the one known as Old Snar or Klauf. He was he made a point of apologizing to us for the behavior of his servants, as he put it, the ones with the flying ship, the airship, I think Alexei called it. After lambasting his his servants, and apologized to us, he asked us about what the giants were seeking. Lucas told him about Alta Simba, and the old dragon laughed long and hard. He said the giants would never find what they seek, and then decided to fly off. After that, we got our bearings and resumed our travel down to Hundlestone. In Hundlestone, we found Twimp Ironbottom really very quickly. However, his invention was not quite ready. The gnome had to still work through the remainder of the night in order to finish it. Not entirely healthy, considering that he's already been up for five nights straight. But I figured I'd sort that out later. For now, I decided to help him recover some of his shipment, which he hasn't received in a while. But as it turned out, his so-called shipment quest, or so-called needing help with his shipment, turned out to just be an elaborate prank pulled by the old gnome and the collective inhabitants of Hundlestone. Where once I met the guy who had the shipment, he needed the head of a pickaxe from the local blacksmith, who needed to be properly paid instead of being paid with some sort of colored paper, and the list goes on. At any rate, I got that all sorted and brought the powder back to the gnome. Whereupon it was the elaborate joke was revealed upon me by his own words, his own admission. Deciding to leave it be, we waited until morning until he was finished making the tools for giant slaying. After which, I laid my hands upon the gnome and extracted poison from his body, allowing him to fall asleep finally. Then, after leaving Hundlestone, we made our way towards Ironmaster to seek the aid of the dwarves on behalf of Bryn Shander. On the way, we camped out in some old ruins, but during the night we were disturbed as the two large giants, uh, Fergus and Felgwyn, arrived, searching for some ancient treasure of their people. Though Fergus wanted nothing more to kill us, Felgwyn thought that we might be useful in aiding their search, and so we did. And we did indeed find the item of which is siege, this strange fist-sized orb with crystalline veins inside of it. I gave it to Felgwyn, and he awarded us with allowing us to keep another potion, a potion of giant size that we had found, as such a thing would be useless to the giants. Then the two giants left, though Fergus seemed to be of the mind that he should have killed us. After that, we traveled the remaining path up to Ironmaster, upon where we encountered the dwarf Breork Arnskull, a traveler of sorts, who was on his way to seek aid for Ironmaster's own giant problems when we arrived. Telling him the news of the Icewind Dale, he quickly turned around and traveled back into Ironmaster with us in order to warn their king and tell them about the news from the Icewind Dale. We, on the other hand, had to remain outside as we are not dwarfs. And upon meeting the guards, I got them to bring out one of the members of the Brighthelm clan so that I could deliver the message of Ogric and her plea that Ironmaster might send aids to Bryn Shander to withstand another siege. And after delivering said message, we got payment in gemstones and started leaving back to start our travel south to Waterdeep. It was then that Breork Arnskull came running after us, telling him that his mission from the king would also bring him to other cities and lands in order to seek aid. So, with a common goal between us, that we allow the dwarf traveler to join our company as we are now traveling south to Waterdeep.
Bum, bum, bum. All right. Go ahead and mark your point of inspiration. Well earned. And we are going to go ahead and pick things up right where everything left off. Um, so, if I recall correctly, you guys kind of basically, eh, yeah, I believe you guys had like set up basically camp because it took like all day to get to.
Almost, yes. We went 1 hour, like basically like 1 hour or so away from our first side post of Ironmaster, and then we set up camp.
All right, so I think we are going to pick things up the following morning. The night so close to the lands of Ironmaster is relatively uneventful, and you all sort of get a good night's sleep. Um, you
And a
can
short
go ahead
rest.
and take a short rest if you would like or need. Um, and yeah, so the following morning you all wake up. It is going to be about a day's travel back to the crossroads. And then from there, probably a few more days to get to Luskin. Um, and yeah, I assume basically like as soon as you guys like wake up and get the camp set up, break down the tents and all that kind of stuff, you just begin kind of making your way down towards the crossroads. Um, Somebody's just putting all sorts of arrows on the map. Classic.
Yes,
Sure,
me.
that won't lag everything.
So, let us see here. Yeah, you guys begin traveling across the still somewhat frozen fields of the north here. It's not really like snow covered per se, but the ground is still like pretty hard and still in the process of thawing, even this kind of late into the year, early in summer, and it's relatively like easy going. Uh, it seems like Iron Master does a good job of like keeping things away from its territory, as it were. Um, and a majority of the day pretty much goes uh, pretty much uneventfully. And we can just go ahead and say you guys will arrive at the um, the crossroads without anything like occurring um, during the day. Um, and you can see up ahead again. There's that set of that big like giant ruin that you had camped in the a couple nights prior, where you had met the giants who were searching for treasure. And again, like you can see, it's this relatively well sheltered, well protected kind of like campsite that's seen a lot of use. Um, and what is all of your passive perceptions?
Let's have a look.
11.
12.
12, 11.
11.
I'm
Okay.
double checking real fast.
But of course we have a wizard caster, right, Mike? Your passive perception has to be a bit better, right? Mike?
Mike, are you
Oh my
there?
god.
Yeah.
Mike.
What's your passive perception?
Dean.
Yes. Um, so definitely Nivi notices. I think Alquil probably notices as well. Um,
Asleep.
as as you guys are like approaching up to the to that like ruined encampment area, you can see there is like a soft flickering light coming from inside. It's not quite bright enough to be like a campfire, but it is it is definitely like a fire of some sort coming from like inside the ruins. Um,
Kill it.
and you can see outside of I think Nibby, you can see outside of the ruins there is what look to be a couple of like chewed up um, like sheep corpses or something. Um, it's some sort of like livestock-ish animal. And they look like they've been like relatively freshly killed and like picked at by some sort of like creature.
Should we should we sneak up on that?
Sneak up on
Sure.
what? Wait, no,
Is
I'm
there
sleeping.
some recently killed sheep or
And you
corpses
want
up
us to
there?
go investigate what killed it?
Just slightly curious. There's a campfire over by the giant ruin.
Something. It's quite low light.
Might as well, I guess.
All right, so you guys head over towards the light. Yeah. So you were maybe like a few like a few like 100 feet back when you notice this, and you make your way up. Are you making like any effort to be like hidden, or are you just kind of actually like trying to
Uh,
make yourself like really obvious?
I'll
will-
actually hold the others back.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
I'll
say
say,
like I'm gonna hold back so because I'm I can't stealth.
I'll be right back. And I'll transform into a giant spider.
Okay.
I'll have
I
that token, but
mean, I can just stealth up. I mean, I'm actually stealthy.
Aren't
Well,
giant
I'm a
spiders-
giant spider now, but you're in your head. Like, all right, come with me.
What? Are you able to speak through the animal form? I don't think you are.
He's not speaking.
Oh fuck!
He's a ghost-wise halfling.
All right, they have some sort of telepathy abilities.
Yeah, they can speak telepathically. It's a one-way thing. Only he can do it, so you can't like speak back to him. But
That's kind of like shiver a bit as I realize this giant spider is talking to me.
and yeah, so you begin like skittering your way over. I assume you're probably like looking to like climb up the wall and look down. Um, are you gonna go with him, Lucas?
Yeah.
I mean, I have spider climb, so I can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings, without making an ability check.
Hey, let him do his thing.
I have dark vision, I have blind sight. Dark vision 60 feet, blind sight 10 feet.
Mhm.
I have a +7 stealth.
There's a perfect moment for me to go and get some tea. Be right back.
All right. So Nibby begins to make his way over there, and
You want me
yeah,
to do a stealth check?
yeah, if you're kind of sneaking up as well, go ahead and give me a stealth check. Um, and I'll actually get a stealth check from both of you. Okay. So yeah, you got. I assume Lucas, you start making your way towards like a crack in the wall or something like that, where you could kind of like peek inside.
Yep.
While Nibby like quickly skitters over to the base of the wall and begins kind of like scaling up some of the rubble. And I think both of you kind of arrive at relatively the same time. Nibby, you're like climbing up top of the wall, and you kind of like look over the top and down in, and you can see that the light that you saw, the firelight, is not coming from a campfire. It's coming from like a single like torch. And you can see that down below in the like camping area, um, there is a dwarven woman. She looks like kind of like relatively like older for a dwarf. Like you can see like the beginning of like gray in her hair. Um, and she's wearing this also kind of like aged looking chainmail armor. And there is a very like faded like paint painting kind of like on the back of it, that I think Nibby could see from like up above, but probably doesn't recognize. You could go ahead and make like a history check to see if you would recognize what it is. It's pretty faded, so it's tough to see, but you've got good perception, so.
You.
No, yeah, you don't recognize it. Some like emblem or symbol of civilized lands you don't really care about.
Do I need to make anything? Do I see
You
this?
can't see it from your position.
Okay.
The only reason Nibby can see it is because he's like up above. And you also see that she has like a torch in one hand. There is like an axe at her belt, and with her other hand, she's currently sort of ruffling the feathers of this large winged creature. You see this quadrupedal creature with this sort of bird-like head, which you would immediately recognize. It's not an uncommon creature, as a griffin. Um, and she's sort of like ruffling its feathers, and you can like now that you're closer, you can kind of hear it like cooing in that like bird-like way. But as you're sort of making your way over, um, Nivi, you're like climbing up, and one of your like front legs kind of presses down on a bit of rubble, and it like falls loose on you. Kind of hear it like plop down to the ground, like hitting other rocks as it goes, and everybody, like even the people that are still like far back, suddenly hear this like loud like screech, and the creature kind of like shifts back and like starts like glaring up like towards your position, maybe. And the both of you just hear the dwarf that says, "What's the matter, Screecher? Is something there?" And she like turns to like look.
How far does the light source reach?
It's like 20 feet.
So I'm out of its like out of that range, right?
You're probably within like the dim light radius of it, just because the
Alright.
ruins aren't like the walls aren't really tall anymore. They've mostly like crumbled away, so you're probably within the 40 feet of dim light.
When the griffin like whips around, I'll probably like move down the wall again, side where I came from,
Okay.
and feet of Lucas.
And what about Lucas?
Right within 30 feet.
Sure. If you want.
I'll say to him in his head, there's a dwarf woman here, and she has been bird-like thing, at least.
Kind of like whisper very slightly to myself because I'm not gonna say anything loud enough for him to hear me. Of course, I can see that.
Do you see that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like he also snuck up and is like looking through. He just didn't see the like symbol on her back.
What did the symbol look like again?
So it was sort of like again, it was like faded, so it was hard to really get a good look at. But it looked as though it was sort of this abstract representation of either like a waxing or waning moon. Um, and there was kind of like some bluish that might have at one point suggested like water. And other than that, a lot of it's like faded and worn.
Right, is the griffin flying off towards us or something?
No, it seems like she has like relatively like good control of it and is like currently trying to like calm it down. Obviously like she looked over there and didn't really like see anything, or if she did, she saw something like scurrying away. So she's not like that worried about it. So she's currently like trying to calm it down. Um, but it's not like giving chase or anything like that. Seems
Is
relatively
there
well
a
trained.
yeah? Which side of me is like if I'm a woman, where is Lucas compared to me?
Well, I mean, Lucas is pretty much just like 30 feet like around the perimeter of this from you.
I'll walk the other way around, away from Lucas, to try and get if there are any cover like trees or something.
There's not really any trees around. It's like a pretty bare, like kind of landscape around this area.
Um,
It's kind of whispered to myself a little bit more, like I don't really know why we're hiding from her.
do I hear that?
No, because you walked away. Yeah, but like a few moments like pass, and Lucas, you hear her like speaking, and she says, she says, "Don't worry, Screecher. Here, let's go take a look. It was probably nothing." And you see like she begins to like make her way towards like one of the main exit of the place, this big open like giant archway.
She doesn't look dangerous, I'm assuming. I mean, she has this griffin, but like
I mean,
she's not like she doesn't. I don't think she like looks to me like a barbarian that we fought the other day or anything like that.
No, I mean she looks like she's got a she looks like her appearance is like well kempt. She's wearing like, chainmail armor.
Yeah.
Like she's not she just looks like a traveler or some sort.
All right, I'm just gonna make my way to the front, or the exit where she's going and meet her out there.
All right,
And
so
I'm gonna fucking damn Thor. I'm gonna kind of just make a wave. If I don't know if they can fucking see me. It's dark out, right?
yeah, it's like dark. The
It's
only
dark
light is
out
coming
and
from
like
the torch that she has in her hand.
and like I don't think any of the humans back there have dark vision. So I'm just gonna like I was like I start to wave at them and I'm like, oh. So but I'm gonna meet her out front.
All right, so you kind of like wait a bit out front, And yeah, it doesn't take long. A few like moments pass, and you can like hear her. She's like basically kind of like talking uh to the griffin in the way that like someone like sort of talks to a favorite pet or the likes.
Yeah,
And
as she starts to get, I realize she starts to close. I kind of like cough before she gets to me, to like, so
and
so it's not
yeah,
of a
so
surprise.
you like cough, and like the griffin sort of like suddenly like ruffles its feathers and kind of like emits this like shrieking noise again. Not quite as
Great.
loud, but like definitely like startled. And she's just sort of like turns like startled as well. And says who's there? And like holds up the torch, and like the light kind of flickers across your form. And her like eyes kind of like narrow.
Just a fellow traveler.
She sort of like holds the torch up for a bit and then kind of like pulls it down, and she says that's so. She says says, you ought to be more careful. Says if Screecher wasn't so well trained.
I saw how you handled him. I knew you could keep it under control.
She says are you by yourself? um, it's awful dangerous to be traveling these parts alone.
Indeed, you are right. I'm not by myself. Kind of like, I'm assuming people hear me.
Come
I
skittering
mean,
up next to Lucas.
Skitter.
You would
Yeah,
have to
we're-
you would have to escalate your voice a little bit, but you could make it so like you could be heard by them.
I will. I'll escalate it a bit. Like, we mean you no harm. We just saw the light and we're curious.
And I standing next to Alexei and Briak, I was like, all right, and Sirak, I was like, all right, that's your cue. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go see what trouble they've gotten themselves into.
Hopefully it's nothing bad.
I'll have to drop my form when I get up to Lucas.
Oh my! Friends with one of the druids, I see. Hmm, interesting.
Oh,
And she says, it's not the first time I've seen a man turn into a beast or vice versa. She says, saw that a lot around where I used to come from. Um, all sorts of folks such as yourself. And probably as she's like saying this, the rest of the party's kind of like walking up, and she like looks you over and sort of says like, she says like, what a nostalgic sight. It's so good to see fresh young adventurers out and about. Um,
We're level 5, thank you very much.
Young? Fucking hell. Say that.
she's an old dwarf. Like,
All right, I was definitely when you described how she looked. I assumed she was a young dwarf.
God 4.
God, you just assume her age.
Always
Yes.
assuming.
Yeah, we just assumed. I don't know, it's
We
just
don't wrap me in with this.
She says,
no.
Allow me to
there's
introduce
no
my
I.
friend.
There's no I in team. There's no you in team. We all fuck up together.
Yeah, allow me to introduce my friends. This is Alquil Redmoon,
Greetings.
Hello.
Alexei Cadencia von Bourbon. This is Nibblyoung Hayward. We call him Nibby. And I'm Lucas.
I imagine as he says Nibblog, the spider just skitters.
I've already dropped
Said
form.
he dropped it.
Ah, damn it. I thought it was still a spider. That was fucking cool.
Yeah, so she sort of like nods to each of this, and then kind of gives a like a slight bow. She says,
And the other two, is Breork, On Skull, and Cirque of Sister.
I just assumed they were crystals at the moment. I wasn't gonna bother.
No, they're here. No, of course
they're
they're
definitely
here.
here. So yeah, she sort of nods as you are like introducing, such like slight bow, and she says, my name is Deshara Keldabar. Says well, these days I just sort of uh, live out my time raising griffins and Fireshear, but once upon a time I was uh, a civilar in the army, I suppose you could call it. So I've seen my fair share of dangers. He says, if I might, I'm curious, which direction are you headed in?
North then south, north to the crossroads, then south towards Luskan, Neverwinter, and Waterdeep.
She nods and says, quite a journey you've got ahead of you. Fair warning, then. I have been patrolling the area around recently here with Screecher. Um, there's been some worrying activity. Um,
You mean the giants?
she like nods. Um,
Yes, we encountered two of them in this very ruin yesterday.
she says, "Is that so? Um,
Yes.
hill giants?"
Uh, I don't.
Describe a
I
hill giant.
Oh, she says,
yes.
You would know one if you saw them. Big, fat, lumbering oafs."
No, it wasn't
No,
that.
no.
I'll describe the giants to her.
Yeah, I was going to say like they were very well dressed.
Hmm.
Wore
Very,
masks.
very wore masks, had these jewelry. Their skin was this
Lightish gray, wasn't it?
smokish, yeah, smokish gray color, very smooth. They're also the tallest giants I've ever seen. Uh, though I've only seen stone giants and frost giants in the past.
Yeah, you see, she sort of, as you're like describing this, does that, like Stola pose, fist to her chin, kind of head tilted down, in thought, and before she like shrugs, she says, "Well, that ain't no giant I've ever heard of nor seen." Um,
They were quite cordial. Well, one of them was. The other one wasn't. The other one wanted to kill us. But they were searching. They said that this ruin was their ancient home or the home to their people, and that they were searching for a treasure abandoned once.
it's interesting. Well, um, I wish you the best of luck in your travels. If you are heading to the southeast, I take care. Screecher and I saw what looked like an encampment or a group of hill giants along the southeastern
Um,
road.
One question first, please. You said
Um,
you're from Fireshire, or yes?
well, that's where I make my home now. I
Yeah,
raise griffins for Waterdeep, just outside of town. Usually keep
I
to
see.
myself.
I like remember like part of the map was like I noticed like a fire shear on the map, though it was not on the way alongside the road that we were to travel. Um, however, does Fireshare have any boats large enough that could carry us and our animals to Waterdeep?
Says, well, I'm sure you could find one. Problem is that the bay still hasn't really thawed out enough for sailing ships. Um,
Ah, I understand.
so Fireshear's a bit of a smaller place, mining town. The people are friendly and hardworking, um, but they don't have much in the way of material goods. They have to import a lot of the necessities. This place is
Well,
run by these merchant folk. I don't necessarily agree with them most of the time, which is why I live outside of town.
I see. I see. Well, it was worth asking. If there had been boats readily available, it might have saved us some time.
She says, perhaps, although says, I don't know if you exactly want to be sailing now.
Why not?
She
Why
says,
not? Yes.
well, part of the reason why I've been scouting around recently, I noticed something to the north. It was about like a day or so um, up the coast, uh, heading straight towards Fireshear. can't even begin to describe it. I only saw it from far away, but it was massive. Um, a ship. It looked like the sails were made of some sort of like scaled leather, with these huge horns mounted to the front of it. A vessel unlike any I've ever seen. And I think I spotted some frost giants upon it.
And you say this was heading towards Fireshear?
She says, at its current heading, yes.
Are the townsfolk not worried?
She says, well, I've warned them as best I can. I reported it to the triumvirate. I'm sure they're taking precautionary measures, but if it really is frost giants, it's a large ship. There could be a lot of them. Town can't hold that back. Says, I urged them to evacuate, but they they said it wasn't worth worrying about.
Shit, guys. So like I would probably have like a very like a grim look on my face as she's saying this. It's like frost giants here as well. Um, still heading towards Fireshare. I sort of like grab the bloodstone in my pocket, grip it a little bit. It's just like I look to the others and says like, "What do you all make of this?"
Hmm.
Well,
Doesn't sound great.
No, it does not. It's just what sort of defenses does Fireshare have? I say, as turning back to the dwarf.
Says, well, a rather defensible location. It's built along the top of cliffs. There's only one or two ramps that lead down to the beachfront. It says, other than that, the fact that the bay is relatively still frozen over, although that doesn't seem to be bothering this ship at all. And we have some militia, um, some foreign mercenaries that the triumvirate hires out for protection, but nowhere near enough to stop giants. Goblins, sure, orcs even, but giants, I think they're a little bit out of our league. We have a fallback plan. Uh, says there's a relatively large span of mines outside of the town. Um, says if worst comes to worst, I'm sure we could hole up there.
And says I sort of nod. Says yes. As it's like the giants already plagued the 10 towns in the Dales. Though the frost giants there was searching for something. And so I think to myself, do you know of a man named Arthur Simba?
She just sort of shakes her head. Can't say it's a name I've ever heard of. Says, but I've heard a lot of names, forgotten many.
You would probably remember this one.
He would have a very particular ring, I say. Uh, one of great power. Says,
She sort of like shakes her head again. Says, no, I can't say it rings a bell. Says, there were a lot of names and faces and rings of some particular power where I came from.
um, well, I was just asking in case the man was in Fireshare, because it is he the giants are seeking.
He says,
They have a means of tracking him.
I don't think so. At least I would probably know. I know everybody in Fireshare. Good men and women. Most of them miners. Um, Unless the Triumvirate's hiding something from us. I've never seen a man of that description.
Very well. Well, good luck to you and yours, and I hope you will be well in the coming days.
She sort of nods and says, "Take care." She says, I really must be going. Come on, Screecher." And she like gets up on the saddle on the back of the griffin.
Do we see the back, the symbol on the back? Do we recognize said symbol?
I mean, Alexei would, as she like is like vaulting over uh, the griffin. Alexei would probably recognize it. Uh, Even faded as it is, um, as basically the symbol of a captain of the Griffin Cavalry of Waterdeep. Like pretty high ranking.
Alquil has never seen this.
Yeah, no.
Lexi
And,
gets the face.
Yeah, with like one last like screech, the griffin like takes off and flies off into the night.
Ree!
The little like flickering kind of like torchlight up above.
I mean, it's got to be the equivalent of seeing like a bagpiper in Edinburgh.
It's not that common.
One of those.
All right, and yeah, so it's currently like that happens basically like at the end of the traveling day. You've arrived back at the crossroads, and
Man, I don't know if I
Let's-
really want to sleep here again, guys.
Let's camp in the guys hideout once again. It's the best cover for miles. Yes? No?
No.
Sure.
No.
yeah, true.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
it's better than no cover. What are the odds giants are gonna come again?
Oh boy. Yeah, no, I'd say we just like camp here again. And as we're camping, it says like the frost giants are probably coming after us. Though they're headed towards Fireshare, that's probably just for a landing spot, I would imagine.
So let's just make haste down the coast to Luskin.
I agree. Just, but at least we know how far away our pursuers are.
And yeah, and you can see like Syric's kind of like in the back, just and he says, I really hope that town is all right. I don't think I could live with myself if I caused another town to suffer like Bryn Shander did. The sooner we get to Waterdeep, the better.
Agreed, Sirak. Just I put my hand on his shoulder. It's like, don't worry about it. It's just like, if these frost giants are like the others, they will be seeking us, and upon seeing that you are nowhere near the town, they will just wander through it rather than destroy it.
Hopefully.
Fucking, I was just fucking clean. There's the red. Don't you fucking ruin it, fucking idiots.
I can only hope so.
See, he ruined it himself.
If only I wasn't born with this cursed blood. Such is my lot in life.
It's like we all have trying times in our futures. Just
Man,
Hmm?
out of character, I thought of a really good way to solve this problem.
kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Wow,
thought
hello, Mr. Sociopath. Yeah,
I mean,
And then we'd be able to, maybe we'll be able to find our December.
let's just
Maybe that's how we
murder.
just
Let's just
bypass
murder this priest. That's yeah, good idea.
I think we like brought it up.
Alright, last resort.
The moment we found out about it, I believe I have a vague recalling of it might have just been me and Mike talking about it.
I don't remember.
I was just like we like killing him. We just solved the problem. That wouldn't really solve the problem, you know.
Wood.
Yeah, so I assume you guys set up camp, if not
Yep.
in the ruins, somewhere like nearby, because you can't really travel much further.
Yeah, in the ruins.
And
Unless we want to push farther and get farther away from the city as fast as we can.
And get a level of exhaustion by traveling through the night.
Hey,
Good
how badly
idea.
do you want to make sure this city doesn't get killed?
Level of exhaustion that you wouldn't be able to cleanse until you got to a town for a long rest.
And
Exactly.
that's disadvantage on
Fucking screw ourselves, guys.
That's disadvantage on ability checks. And there
Alright,
are
we're sleeping
hill
in.
giants coming up ahead.
Alleged hill giants.
You know those alleged hill giants are just about 100% certain to be there if there's anything that's alleged in any sort of game means it's real.
Alright, we sleep, Brad. We
Alright.
take up our normal watches.
Sure
Yes.
thing. Why don't you just everybody just give me a perception check for the watches here.
I think through most of my watches, I've just slept through them because I rolled so badly. Yeah, I sleep through
Wait.
my watch. God, guys.
Oh man, lucky.
Perception. Hey.
Me and Al Quill are very, very tired.
Oh man. Oh man.
It's okay. Maybe Hockey can make up for you guys being asleep.
Yes, give me hockey.
Yeah, the hawk.
It's not V Hawk, it's Hockey, please.
What
Yes.
about Breork Arnskull?
That's his watch, yeah.
What's his companion card do?
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, stuff and things.
Stuff like face.
You've not made it yet, have you?
Sure, I have. Don't get to see it yet.
I'll roll insights.
Can't roll an
maybe.
IRL insight for.
Bullshit, I
We-
can't.
we haven't
I
unlocked
can't
it yet.
have a D20 on me everywhere.
Every time I negotiate my contract, it's like, all right, let me just roll for persuasion.
I rolled a
Alright.
nat 20. You can't deny me this raise.
Oh, you're fired.
It's like, we're not
Anyways.
giving you a raise. We're firing you.
Anyways. Yeah, so the night is actually like pretty quiet and uneventful. Yeah, the night. You're attacked by a by a knight. No. So the night is relatively quiet and uneventful. After having met with Deshara, there are no further sort of incursions upon your campsite, and the night passes uneventfully, and you all wake the following morning, rested and ready to hit the road.
A new short rest. Hooray!
Yep.
Man, I don't need one. Nothing
Neither-
has happened.
Neither do I.
I'm the only one of us who can get spells back out on a short rest, aren't I?
Yep.
I mean,
you
I
are.
have Arcane Recovery.
Alexa can get a
Get my wild
limited
shapes.
number.
Once she can use it once, and she already did use it.
Yep.
All right. So you begin to
We should
travel
all
in.
have just been monks, warlocks, and fighters.
Right.
And druids.
And so you begin to travel again in the morning. It's sort of a bit of like a chillier day. Even though it's summer here up north, it still like gets relatively cold from time to time. But far warmer than you're used to in in the Icewind Dale. So it doesn't really phase you too much. There's like a strong breeze kind of blowing in. From
This is-
from the west, carrying the sort of still salty smell of sea air, and yeah, you
a
begin
nice summer day.
to you begin to make your way hurriedly down the road, back up towards the crossroads, and then down along the main road, the northern means to Luskin. And could I get each of you to make me a perception check?
Man, can I just not? It's gonna be shit. I'm asleep again. Like I'm not asleep, but my eyes are closed and I'm dozing.
Mhm.
Dragons sleep a lot, right? I'm
Driving
taking after my
driving the
master.
wagon and sleeping at the wheel. Um,
No, Alquil's driving. I
so
only drive when Alquil can't.
Elquil and Alexei, you both notice this first. Um, it's about like mm, late in the morning, early afternoon. You've been traveling about half of the day. The sun sort of is low, or like high on the horizon, beating down on you. Um, Making it feel warmer than it actually is. And the first thing that you notice is sort of this faint um, hint of a smell sort of wafting through the air. Um,
Gotta get shit on
it's
again.
it's not a very nice smell, but it is one probably recognizable. Um, it is the smell of like it is the smell of decomposing flesh, sort of in the hot sun. Um, and it doesn't take long after that before you see uh, what what is causing this. Up ahead on the road, like just off to the side of the road, um, there is a scene where you just see uh, bodies of dozens or more humans, all kind of with ragged hair and plain like rough leather and fur clothes, scattered around the ground, which has been like torn up um, by um, by something. There are like large like gouges and gashes in the ground, and amidst all of these like human bodies are the bodies of two blue-skinned frost giants, both clearly dead. And you can see that they are like being like picked at by like carrion birds and some like wolves. But you also notice both of you like crouch down amidst the bodies. Um, Several more humanoid figures that are like clearly like alive and seem to be kind of like rooting around through the battlefield up ahead.
So
And
I'll, as we're traveling, as I'm staring at the wagon, and Lucas has been making a point of like sitting next to me, I'll just slap Lucas on the side.
I'm used to this by now.
Yep, I was just slap him awake,
What?
like point there, pointing up ahead.
yeah, and it's such
Like-
that like some of the bodies in one of the giants is on like one side of the road, and then the rest are on the other side of the road. This battle took place across the road, and there's like gouges in the road from where what you now quite clearly recognize is like a giant's axe probably dug into the ground.
I'm
Looks
just gonna
like
like whistle as I'm like rub my eyes and see this and like something and big
Looks like-
happens here.
Goodness
Yeah.
me.
looks like the bandits caught the wrong trap.
So there's just a bunch
From-
of birds and wolves and like
Yeah, there's like a
humans
few.
scavenging.
There's like a few like birds and wolves kind of on the outskirts, picking at some of the carcasses. Although they've already like clearly been like picked through quite a bit. You would recognize that these the bodies of these like human figures they do seem more like those like barbaric people that you fought on the road earlier.
Yeah.
For
And
a
I'm
moment, I
assuming-
thought we were passing by our previous slaughter.
And no one's alive, right?
There's a few humanoid
There
figures.
are a
Other than
few.
the
There's
other than the humanoids that we see that are the
yeah,
barbarians.
nobody else is like there are humanoid figures amidst the carnage. They are dressed in sort of more like darker like black leather uh armor. It looks like civilized armor rather than like uncivilized, just like strapped together.
And they are picking through the.
They seem to be like armed. There's one who's kind of like standing over and watching them, while the rest are sort of like picking through the bodies, like clearly like searching for something. Um,
All right. I'm assuming they don't see us.
They haven't quite recognized you. Their backs are like turned towards you. But if you continue any further, like you're making enough noise where they probably would like notice you if you didn't like shout out your presence.
Hail there!
Did you not? Did you just do that?
Yeah. So you shout out, and
I summoned my longsword.
the man who is
What's going on?
standing there like turns, and you can see he's wearing whereas opposed everybody else is wearing sort of like leathers, he's wearing sort of leather that's been like reinforced with bits of chainmail. He has on his back this like large uh almost like a tower shield sort of thing, like this almost full body like shield um that has this like inscription, like this drawing on it of this sort of like stylized eagle, and he has like he has a spear also kind of like shoved behind it, and he sort of turns, and you can see he has this he's like bald, like shaved or bald, and he turns and he says, "Well, well, look what we have here, travelers on the road. Afraid to tell you, but this place has already been claimed."
It's just like
Trying to claim it.
I'm like lift the eyebrow. Is like what do what do you mean? It's just like we're just passing through.
And he says, "He's passing through, are you?" And like, you can see some of the other like people that were looking like go back to what they were doing. And he said, "Aye, well, as long as you ain't getting any funny ideas in your head about taking from me and my boys, I suppose we could just let you pass through."
Just like
Don't
Oh.
worry, we're not depraved enough to loot corpses that we didn't kill ourselves.
He says, "Depraved? Oh, I beg to differ. An entrepreneurial spirit, I like to call it. Yeah,
Desperate.
they're not using these things anymore."
there's another like a slaughter field a bit up the roads. I say like basically thinking back to the when we killed all the barbarians. I say.
And he says, "Aye, well, if it's more of these folks," and he like kicks one of the like barbarian corpses on the ground. He says, "Not much use to us. Don't really have much of value. These
Just-
giants, however, quite a few interesting trinkets on them. Wonder
Such
who
as-
slew the bastards."
This is probably some of the barbarian side wager.
He says, all sorts of interesting things on them. There's carvings made out of this strange stuff. Black but cold
black-
as ice.
I was going to ask if it was black ice.
He says, I
Alright.
reckon it'll fetch a pretty penny.
God damn it, we can't let them have that.
I sort of size like you might not want to touch that stuff.
It's not gonna go that easy. We're gonna have to force it from them. I'm just whispering down Quill.
Yeah, I say the black ice. I says it comes from the Icewind Dales. It is was created by a cursed wizard a few hundred years back. It has corrupting qualities. Those who carry it for a prolonged period of time ends up, well, your darker, more evil qualities start.
Yeah, you seem like one that might be more susceptible to it than others.
He sort of says, right, and I'm the king of bloody Waterdeep, I am. He says, I see what you're
Pleasure
trying to
meet you,
do.
Mage.
Trying to
James,
get
this
us
is-
out of our spoils, are you? He says,
James,
well, I'm
James,
not buying it.
James, I will point out this is the perfect time to say that Waterdeep has no king.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about it, but let's not antagonize him any further, shall we?
Dude, this is going to be a fight. We're just do it. Antagonize away.
It's
No,
not
no, no,
Alexia's
we
nature.
might.
Are any of them within 20 feet of each other?
No, they're kind of like spread out around.
How many of them are
looting.
there?
It looks to be like shy of a dozen, somewhere in like that kind of range. as you could count them if you wanted to. There's probably about like 8 of them all said and done.
And like Science is like we've we've done a lot in order to ensure that the black ice doesn't spread. So it's like for your sake as well as the sake of all the innocent people of the Salt Coast, I recommend you just don't touch that stuff.
And he says, well, for yours, I'm ecstatic that you're concerned about my safety, but you know,
Perhaps-
I'm more concerned about my pockets.
Perhaps we could come to an agreement of sorts then. Just...
He
I
says,
just look over at Alcor.
now you're talking my language. What are you thinking?
It's just like, well, it's just like, I have, how much of that black ice do you have?
I
And he
summon my
sort of
longbow.
says, he sort of like looks over to
Changes the sword to a longbow.
you like summon forth this like bow, and he's just like, whoa, what is that? What is that sorcery? And he says,
It's just-
listen here. Yeah, I thought we were on track to make a pretty good deal, but your friend is summoning weapons out of thin air there.
I mean, it's just like, Lucas, what are you doing? I say.
Casting Call Lightning on the main guy.
All right, so that will be initiative because there's no way you can cast a spell without them like being alerted by it. So let me go ahead and get this set up.
Diplomacy has failed us.
Fucking
To be
Lucas.
fair, it wasn't me. I was summoning it in the plan that your diplomacy ended up failing and he didn't take it.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just, and
Mine was a precaution, but Nibby was like, let's go.
I can't wait for you. I
that.
can't wait for you to use your first action to switch it back to a sword.
Fuck no.
oh my god, Mike, why?
It's Mike. So yeah.
So much talking, I zoned out.
Are we gonna do a battle map, Brad?
Yeah, one second. I'm just setting.
Okay. I just want to make sure before I pull out my token.
Trying to get it set up here.
Too much talk, no fight.
To be fair, it probably would have came to this anyways, right, guys?
Oh, I could have convinced him.
What were you gonna offer them?
I have a gemstone, I have money.
Fuck
Well,
that,
offer
dude.
them their life.
Hmm?
They're not worth it.
There. Aww.
Rude.
I really like
Roots.
this map. I like the style of this map. This is cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Are we like turned this way or? Oh, okay. I was like, why the fucking horses first? Why am I at like 19 health?
Vince
Oh.
Ryder already has
Have you not been-
this.
I forgot that like I could do that. Can I do it real fast or is it like
There's
too
been-
late?
There's been 2 short rests, dude.
I know. I didn't realize I was low. Too late, Brad, or can I spin some real fast?
I mean, you
Up to you.
took a short rest, so go ahead.
All right.
You're so merciful, Brad.
He is sometimes.
Sometimes.
We're gonna
Every
use
now
it
and
real
then.
You gotta. It's a balancing act, right? You gotta balance it out.
We'll spin 2. 13.
Stop crying for.
Nibby actually rolled the highest initiative so far.
Oh, yeah, I gotta roll initiative.
Nice.
I rolled my health.
Hey, we have the exact same initiative.
Hello,
No, fuck.
Windstrider.
Never mind, I have
Oh.
15.
Yeah,
I
you're
thought it was
15 and he's 14.
Brad, I got a question.
Hmm.
Level 6 hexblade thing, a cursed specter allows me to like when I kill something, like I can capture its soul and make it become like a specter under my command
Mm-hmm.
that stays with me till after the next long rest. That is, I could keep that till like the next city as well. Does that count as it?
I think anything that's like anything that I feel like the intent of it was that it only lasts 8 hours is still only gonna last the 8 hours.
Okay, but does it? Oh, what is it? To the end of your next long rest, at what point of months? Okay, but okay, that gets rid of that. But then the thing is, like, I don't get it back till after the next long rest. Does that count till the next long rest, or will that reset as well?
Yeah, like the recharge will be the same.
Oh, the
I
recharge
suppose-
is the same, but like, okay.
I suppose.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of yeah. It's like it's iffy, but I don't know. I mean, I guess you can have like a ghost following you around. They probably
a
won't
ghost
let you
follows me
into.
around.
They probably won't let you into the fucking town with it, but.
Hey, I'll handle it when it happens.
Yep. Well, will you look at that? Nibelung, by some sort of miraculous fate, you're first.
Yes, indeed. So you are first, and you cast Call Lightning.
And
And upon the bandit captain. All right, so he will make a Dex saving throw. Wow. He fails. So that's 12
I think that
lightning
fails.
damage. Yep. So he takes 12. Actually, he's a halfling, so you get to reroll it. No.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
He
he
says
you
what's
call
going
down
on.
this bolt of lightning, and he says, what's this? Betrayal, is it? He says, well, I'm not about to let you boys get one over on Specs the Vulture. Get 'em, boys!
Did you just call himself Specs the Vulture?
Yeah.
His name, man.
This is
Hey,
like,
we're-
Nibelung, what the hell are you doing? What in the nine hells are you doing?
Lucas.
Pirates! Fuck him!
I'm gonna cast a. This is the main one, right?
Yeah, he's the main one. He's the bandit
Yeah.
captain.
Hex. Is Hex a concentration spell? No. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
it,
I'm
it,
gonna
it,
cast
it,
Hex
it's
on
hunter, it is better than Hunter's Mark in every single conceivable
Okay.
fashion.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Hex on it as my bonus action on him, and Dex,
Sure.
because I don't think we're gonna be climbing on this one. And then Pack Longbow.
All right.
Does a 13 hit?
13 does
I don't
not
think so.
hit. Deflects off some of his like chainmail padding.
Does a 16 hit?
Let me double check here. 16. 16 also misses.
Oh damn.
Someone with the tower shield, right?
Yeah, this is the one he's got
Yeah.
like this big like tower shield and kind of like this sort of chain reinforced leather armor.
Has he gotten the tower ship out yet? It was on his back before.
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah,
like
right.
as soon as you started like casting
Yeah,
spells
yeah.
and like summoning weapons, it was out, so he has it.
Alright.
That's my turn.
Alexei.
All right. Firebolt. All right. So are these guys in the open?
Well, yeah, I mean they're sort of like crouched down amidst like corpses and stuff, but they're still relatively open.
All right. Excellent. Well, I'll firebolt this guy over here.
All right, go for it.
Yeah.
Remember to add a 1d4.
1d4. So 18.
All right, so you conjure forth this like large bolt of flame, hurling it at this looter, and he's sort of like getting up, like pulling out his crossbow, and it just hits him square in the chest, burning this like black hole in his chest and sending his scorching body flying backwards until it hits one of the giant corpses and slumps to the ground.
Excellent. I'm in the back of the cart, so I will drop prone.
Sure thing. All right. So, the leader here, Specs, he has his spear and his like tower shield. He kind of like holds it forward, and he says, "You're gonna rue the day you crossed old Specs." And he is going to move forward. And he's just shouting like, "Cover me, boys! I'm going in!"
Alright. Is he gonna move?
And then he doesn't go in.
And, that seems like a dash. Then he has rogue levels and he could dash as a bonus action.
And then, Let me see here. Wanna?
I was kind of kidding, but okay.
Yeah.
Brad never kids.
So throw the.
Yep. Up towards you, who called that bolt of lightning on him.
That's a total 80 feet. He moved. Okay.
The
Alquil.
action search.
And I will like just yell. Yes, it's like what in the gods' name are you all doing? I was going to buy the black guys off him. And I will spend my action doing nothing.
Don't deserve our money.
All right, is Windstrider doing anything?
Like it's too late
No.
now.
All right, so the bandits and looters are going to pull out their crossbows. So that guy's within range. That guy needs to move up 10 feet. He's within range. This guy, he can get within range. He's here. This guy moves here. This guy's gonna have to dash this round, I think. This guy, he get in range of anybody. He can get in range with anybody. This guy's also gonna have to like dash up. Like so. This guy, did he get within range of anybody? Not really. I mean, he could shoot the horse, I guess.
Gonna shoot Bella.
Oh my god,
I
Bella's
think
dead.
just dash up.
I mean, it could make sure we couldn't escape.
You ain't getting away. And then Lucas loses another person close, another thing close to him in his life.
Alright,
Last thing
so-
remaining that ties me to my past.
What
Yeah.
about blackjack?
Oh yeah, Blackjack. Well, I got Blackjack after that.
3 of them are making crossbow attacks at Nibelung.
Hmm?
So here's the first one. Misses horribly. Also misses horribly. And a 17 will hit you for
Yeah, that's my
9
AC.
piercing damage.
So 2 of their strings got cut.
And then go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw for your Call of Lightning, DC 10. All right, so you maintain.
Never
no
flexes that shit up.
problem. All right, and then Nibelung, we're back around to you. Oh wait, no, there's one more attack. Sorry, there's a crossbow attack that's going to go at I guess one of you 3 at random. Going clockwise, so it's going to be at Alquil.
What? I haven't done
There's your
anything.
fucking diplomacy in action.
Like the crossbows, like I imagine just comes flying next, like hits the wagon next to me.
Yeah, it like misses pretty wildly. You're not sure if he was
My
aiming for
wagon! Fuck
you or
diplomacy!
Lucas or anything.
The horses.
Yeah, you could.
Yep. Like I saw, as I just like grabbed my sword and shield.
You see that, Alquil? He tried to kill Windstrider.
I
Or
mean,
Wind.
diplomacy was out the
Wind
window when your
person.
friend called a goddamn bolt of lightning on their.
Yeah, but I was just like taken aback by the whole. That's why I skipped that. I skipped an action.
Oh, yes. All right, Nibelung. So you are up. There's a bolt lodged in your shoulder. A man with a shield and a spear in front of you, and bandits. Many bandits. What do you do?
So it's within 5 feet of the centered points. Would that mean that I could hit both of these 2? Because 5 feet and then 5 feet?
So is it a 5-foot radius?
It's a what does it say? Of that point.
So let me see.
Each creature within 5 feet
Creature
of the
within
point.
5 feet of the point. So it would only stretch that point and the
Feet.
squares around it. So you can
So
hit
I'll
2
do
of
it
them.
at the square with these 2.
Okay.
So both of them.
Sure thing. Go ahead and roll whatever the damage is. While
that is
they make their
wild.
deck saves. Right, success and fail. So this guy takes 8.
Was it only 2 people you hit?
He can only hit 2.
Otherwise they would
He
be out of
selects a
range.
point and then it goes 5 feet around that, so you can only hit
Ah.
2 of them. And this one just is blasted by the lightning and just turns into a charred, smoking corpse.
Yay!
Success.
Success? Question mark. All right, and then we have Lucas.
Shit. 2 longbow shots. At,
Oh, you're wild shaping too.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. He changed it to a snake. Changed it to a giant snake, I imagine.
Can I go ahead and take my turn, or do I need to wait for him?
No, because he can't actually do any like actions or anything.
Okay.
I need some action on it.
Longbow against the big bandit. Yeah.
Jesus!
Yeah, that is how big that snake is.
Crit. There's a 29 hit.
No, that
And
actually
it crit
misses.
automatically hits.
Alright, he's at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Plus the 5, because I'm on a bonus action anyways for the maddening hex. So
Are you like
17 damage.
Holy shit. Big anaconda.
And you also, I guess, roll extra for the hex, or do you roll extra?
It's already there. Hex is
Okay.
down there. It's the very bottom one.
Yeah, but you critted. Does that count for the hex, or does?
Oh yeah, you're right. It does.
Mhm.
Thank you, Thor. 1d6. Another 3, so
3.
20 damage.
Yeah, so you like this like snake like all of a sudden appears in front of him and you like blast him with this arrow, and he's just like, "What the hell?"
And then I
he
missed the
seems
second
kind of
one.
confused, and then yeah, the second one just impacts into his shield.
Yeah. It's just like, what the hell? Oh, that works.
Alexei,
Yep. I think I'll firebolt this guy over here. Pya! Plus
who are you shooting?
D4. This guy
Closest
here.
one. Closest
Yep,
one.
you blast him. Ah!
Wilhelm scream.
Drop. Then drop prone again.
Okay.
Stand up, fire, throw.
Yep.
That's a good
Okay,
tactic.
so there is now a big fuck off snake. He's a little intimidated by this, but stands his ground, holds up his shield to protect himself, and is like stabbing out from behind it with the spear. He is going to attack. Let's see here.
Tower shield and spear.
He is going. What's the snake AC?
What's the snake see?
Yeah. What's the snake's AC? Pretty low, probably, right? Anyways, I'll just roll
Oh.
the attacks. I
A giant
22,
constrictor snake has an AC of 12.
an 8, and a 17. So 2 of them hit you.
Hello!
I can hear
Okay,
you now.
now we heard you now.
This fucking shit app. The fuck is fucking hairy asshole?
I think
Okay,
you
we
need
heard
to
that
adjust. I think you need to adjust the gain on your.
Snake
your
has
buddy.
12 AC!
I think you need to adjust the gain, my friend. All right,
I've never
so
made a single adjustment to Discord ever, and it's only started acting up lately.
Huh. Try going to like the.
you know it's
like
probably.
a-
Did you update Windows recently? Because that also fucking fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Spears at D6.
Oh, I love you, Mike.
Right, so you take 10 damage in total to the snake. Then he is going to move with a bit of a bonus action thing. Just not be next to this snake.
Is he coming over near me?
I get a attack of opportunity.
You do not.
No, he used the bonus action to disengage.
He is a fucking rogue?
He is a fucking rogue. Yes.
What the fuck?
That-
With a
that's why-
shield?
That's why I dashed 3 times. Yes.
Fucking multi-classing motherfucker.
Multi-classing. He's a fighter rogue. Okay.
Elkwell.
He's a rogue.
All right, so I'm just going to, leap off, just like leap, run over like the back of the cart behind Lucas, and like leap off to go and strike down this guy.
All right, go for it.
Uh,
13 will miss.
Mm-hmm. And then as I come down, take I'm just gonna say sorry about this, and like try to go stab him in the gut.
21. Let's see here. This adds. Ooh, so that is outside of the range of that.
From
That does
max hit to from
hit. So you deal 4 points of damage. You get in past his shield and kind of like scrape against his side.
Yep.
All right. Is Windstrider doing anything?
Attached to the cart. No, I was going to have him attack the guy when he was here, but now he's no longer within striking distance.
All right. So then the bandits.
So Windstrider just dodges.
Okay, those two are just going to continue to attack the Snick. These guys are kind of going to fan out a bit.
And they're gonna take out the fucking maid that's just picking them off one by one.
She's prone in the cart behind it, like it's really...
she went back to being prone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so these three are gonna... Yeah, they're gonna... Yeah. Okay. And then these two are gonna shoot at the snake. Okay, so 2 at the snake. 1, 2, both of which miss. And then 3 shots all at Lucas.
I'm going to disadvantage the first one.
Okay, so the first one at disadvantage.
I see he's only 15 at the moment.
Misses.
Miss.
The second one hits
Hits.
for 9. And the last one also hits for only 2. So a max and then a min. And then they are all gonna duck for cover.
They going prone.
All right, and we have the giant constrictor snake, Nibby.
Who, I'm guessing is messing around with sound settings.
Probably.
Sounds like a dodge action to me.
Alright. Oh, well, he's doing some measuring. Some measuring going on.
Seeing how far he can move.
Oh, man.
Your reach is 10 foot, by the way, with the...
On the bite, I think.
Yeah.
At him then, I guess.
Oh, we can hear him.
Yes.
Hey.
A little bit.
I'm biting him! Damn it, roll it. We heard you.
All right, you go to like lash out and bite at him, and he like jams his tower shield into your jaw, and it like stops the bite. All right. Anything else? I believe that would be probably a no. Okay. Lucas.
Big guy. Fuck. 1 on the big guy.
So that's at the leader.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Next one at the
deflects off
leader.
his shield. That one
23.
hits.
11 plus bonus hex, so 16 plus the 2, so 17. No, 18.
I was like, what?
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Alexei.
Right. So, all these guys are prone?
Yeah, they're all ducking for cover, having seen two of their compatriots blasted by fireballs.
I'll blast this guy with a firebolt.
The main dude.
Yeah, main dude.
Okay.
Alright. Pya! Wow!
Nice.
Wow.
For the most
16.
awesome damage ever. Okay.
Yeah,
That hits.
then drop prone.
Who did you fire at?
Main guy.
Aha.
Fucking vulture. The vulture.
Specs.
Is it Specs the vulture?
Yep.
Specs.
I'm just gonna call him the vulture.
Specs the vulture.
I'm just gonna call him Specs because that's more embarrassing.
So
Why is that embarrassing?
Hmm?
Why is Specs more embarrassing?
Well, because it doesn't sound as cool as saying the vulture.
The vulture.
The
uh,
vulture!
his turn. Right, he's going to bonus action, and he's just gonna go nyink, nyink.
Oh, what is he doing?
No,
Climbing
don't
up
get
into
onto
the
the cart.
He's gonna go to the cart and he's gonna have advantage attacking you. I
And,
can't do anything about it. Sorry.
And he's gonna look down at look at all of you and like down at Alexei, holding his spear towards her, and he's just gonna jab it into her. At least.
No jabbing!
No jabby jab.
No jibber jabbers. So he has advantage. 2d20 KH1 plus 5. Wow.
Wow, it hits.
Hits? Are you gonna?
Well, you don't have mage armor on, right?
No.
You're just gonna let
Are
it
you
Might
hit?
not
shield
have
it?
the spells.
Are you gonna shield it?
Shield it.
Yeah, don't you have
Yes.
shield?
I
Did
do
you
have
react?
shield.
That's a reaction.
Sure.
All right. So you conjure a
Why not?
barrier to you're crouched down with hands over your head, and you see this spear coming, and you just vroom, barrier around yourself, and he deflects off of it. It's curses, and he turns over to you, Lucas, because you look like easier prey right now.
Watch me shield it as well.
Yeah. So he's gonna attack you.
Crit, 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 crit.
Unfortunately, I never crit. Nope, that
Misses
misses.
anyway.
And the third
Misses.
attack also misses.
I'm just kind of snicker at him. Too short to hit me.
And then, so that was 5, 10, 15, 20. He's just gonna 25, 30.
Hear you with my bow. Did he get off the thing now?
He kind of hops off and around.
What is he doing?
You could punch him as he left your
No,
range.
no, you can't because he's still under the effect. He used it on his turn.
Oh, okay.
Lasts the whole turn.
Wait, he's on the what effect?
Disengage.
Oh, okay.
Go out, Quill.
Oh yes.
well, it's your turn.
Shielding my sword in thunderous energy, and gonna run up here from the cart,
Mhm.
Fucking smack that one. Actually, this guy likes to run a lot, so I'm gonna boom and blade him.
Go for it.
Alquill, please.
Oh. Yeah, so you come running up, trying to chase after him as he's running around the cart, swinging your blade, and just he ducks in such a way that you end up hitting the cart on your trajectory, just missing
I hope
entirely.
that car don't move.
No, we can't move the cart. God damn it.
Then
I
we
didn't
have
hit-
Windstrider.
Can he move the cart backwards one step?
What did we just say for?
No.
Okay. Then he start dodging.
not unless they
What?
tell it,
Nick,
yeah.
can he buck him?
He needs to be within
Doesn't
5
have
feet.
reach, yeah. All right, so then it's the bandits, the banditos.
Big snake, scary.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if like they can't even really see anything behind the snake anymore.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
So I think they are just gonna like unload on the snake.
That's what she said.
2, 3, 4, 5. That's gross. That's gross. So at the snake, it's a snake. 9 points of damage. 7 points of damage. 8 points of damage. Miss and miss.
Did you get all that, Mike?
Yes.
And then
you
they
hear
all
me?
duck
Yeah,
back.
very quiet.
Yeah, we can hear you.
you.
All right, and then it's your turn, Nibby.
Just barely.
Really?
Yeah, it's
It's fine.
Because I have the fucking meter set to 90 decibel now.
okay.
How about all of us turn him up?
Yeah, I mean we can.
Everything
also...
fucking maxed in this piece of shit fucking program.
For me, on my end, you were a bit quiet because I had previously turned you down a little bit.
Yeah, I had him down to 15%.
15%. Holy crap!
But
All right.
Always had that, right?
Because
So what's changed?
yeah, I don't know what because like in the past, Mike used to be very loud on Discord, so I turned him down to like 75%, but I turned him back to 100%, and I can hear him just fine now.
Yeah,
I am using the browser version now because the other one obviously doesn't work because it's a piece of shit, garbage, asshole shit.
I mean, it's just you having these issues, so I don't think it's fair to say that. But yeah, there's some issue with your configuration that's causing issues. It happens.
Should uninstall and reinstall.
To this little
I know
bot launcher.
the recent Windows update fucked.
I know.
Like
Yeah, that's why I was saying was there a Windows
There are
update
lots.
because it fucks everything up.
Whatever.
So you're moving up to the bandit.
I will strict this motherfucker.
All right, go for it.
Constrict.
Constrict. Oh god.
48, motherfucker.
He's dead.
48.
He's fucking dead. There's no way.
We just see the snake just fucking eat him.
All right, so yeah, the snake moves up, like wraps its tail around this bandit, and just squeezes him until like blood starts like pouring out of his like eyes and mouth, and he just is crushed into a neat little ball.
Red mist. Red mist now around the snake.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Lucas.
He's off the cart. Is he technically within melee range of me still? I
Yes,
don't
he's
know.
still within 5 feet of you.
Are you,
Okay.
Mike, are you still concentrating on the Call Lightning spell, or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's an action.
Oh yeah, should I make a bunch of checks?
Oh yeah, I guess you'd have to make 3.
Go ahead and do it.
These tens?
Yep, it'd all
These are
just be
nuts,
10.
1, 2, 3.
Yep, you're fine.
Nice.
But yes, you are still within melee. He is still. He could still theoretically hit you with the spear.
Alright, so okay. I'm gonna. Well, I don't give a shit about that. I'm more worried about fucking me having disadvantage on my fucking bow shots.
Mm-hmm.
Can I take like a 5-foot step back and still hit him and just take the opportunity attack?
Yeah.
Good.
I'll do it.
So you take
Oh,
a
shit.
5-foot step. That's forward.
That's forward.
Yeah, I know. Like fucking. I picked up my character and went to move him down, and my screen just scrolled up. I was like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Um,
So go ahead and do it.
okay, yeah, he'll take it. That other thing's not proving useful to him.
He hits.
You take a whopping 8 points of damage.
Now I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay, go for it.
14
Miss.
misses.
Misses.
16
16
misses.
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 Maddening hex, 5 damage.
Alexei.
Yep. So he's off the cart now, right?
Yeah, but he could still like
Alright.
still theoretically.
So I'm gonna. Yep. So I'm gonna like reach over the cart and
You're
try
prone
and
still,
grab
right?
it.
You're prone still, right?
Yes. So I'll probably get up and I'll try and reach over the cart and grab him on the shoulder and try and zap him.
And she crits for 20 damage.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Fucking Alexei's just critting all the time on these fucking cantrips. Yeah, so that you like reach over, he was like not expecting it. I mean, you would have also had advantage on it too.
Yeah,
uh,
because he has metal armor.
but yeah, so you like reach over and like grab him, and like at first he's like, "What are you doing? Coming on to me?" And then all of a sudden lightning like blasts through you and just like fries him, and he's like, "Ah, what the fuck?" and just collapses, spasming.
Alquill just looks at like the sharp corpse and a little bit of like over to Alex's hand and like over to Alexei, just like in like a bit of horror and surprise because
Yeah.
I think it's the first time I've seen you defend yourself in melee.
Yeah. And she's like shaking her hand because it's smoking and blowing on it like ha ha ha.
And it's just like,
And
damn.
upon seeing this, the remainder of the looters drop their crossbows and just put their hands up in the air.
It's just like,
They prostrate themselves.
fuck, I used my Thunder Smite for no reason. I'm gonna hit the fucking corpse if I have to.
Alright.
Send it fucking fly.
But yeah, so they like put their hands up and like, we surrender! No hard feelings, right?
It's just like, like naturally, I say, I like look around and see the giant snake, and it's just like, right, Nibelung?
I swallowed the last bit of the guy.
Yeah. It's like,
Fine.
okay, cool.
We are now going to require you all to surrender everything of value you have on you.
Especially the black guys.
Can I?
Especially the black eyes.
I'll grapple
You'll grapple.
a snake. Like I'll do the constrict but without the damage.
I just go, yeah. Just go.
I'm gonna collect
randomly
everything that they
grab
have.
one of them.
I loot this guy, Brad.
Yeah,
Alexei just shot him, but it's like, okay, I'm not gonna loot it. Lucas has been a bad influence on you.
I'm not hearing what you're saying, bro.
So they willingly turn over everything that they have. They have two of these like black ice figurines. Well, at least the leader does. They don't have any of that stuff. But they have on them a total of 19 gold and 3 silver.
Alright, 2 black eye statues, 19 gold and 3 silver.
The leader, Alexei, has 25 gold. There's a bunch of like junk inside of his like one of his bags that he has. He's got like a couple bags like strapped on him for like holding loot and stuff. Most of it appears to be like junked. But you find amidst all of the stuff this strange looking wooden mask. It's carved in the likeness of this like bearded man with long curly hair. But it looks like relatively plain and like unornate.
So a plain looking mask.
Yeah, but it does seem very, very slightly magical.
Ooh. Let's hang on to the strange mask.
Followers of Giant Dad.
Strange mask. Alright, there we go. And 25 gold. Yay.
Alright,
Oh,
you
you're
just
just
go.
keeping the
You
25
just
gold?
keep it for yourself? Oh, I see how it is.
Yeah.
Nah, we'll share.
Alright, 44 divided by 4 is 11 to each of us.
What type of armor was that guy wearing, by the way?
He was wearing let me see, he had the shield 18. I have to like reverse engineer it here for a bit. I think it was like a breastplate kind of situation.
What is that, medium? Or is that heavy?
Breastplate is medium. It's the best medium armor that there is.
Doesn't matter. Fucking can't fit me. He's a fucking halfling.
No, he's not a
He's not a
halfling.
halfling.
He's not a half. He's a man. He was like standing tall. That's why we
Oh, I
saw
thought
him.
y'all said he was a fucking halfling.
No,
That was a
you were the
joke.
one who said it was.
He was
halfling.
joking when he rolled the nat 1
I was joking.
because I had the lucky thing.
No, he's a human man with a bald head and a rather like
Yeah.
like prominent
breastplate.
nose.
That's the one without the fucking modifier.
Yeah,
without the disadvantage on stealth.
Breastplate is that's what I'm saying. That's why it's the best medium armor because it's 14
Mind
AC.
if I have it?
Not at all.
Let's
I'm
see,
good.
14, 16.
It's 14 plus maximum of 2 of your decks.
Yeah, so that
plus
adds
12.
up. So yeah, it would have been breastplate.
Awesome. So I got a breastplate now.
Cool.
The breastplate
What
that looks like
weapons-
looks like bits of like scavenged like chain and plate kind of strapped onto a leather base.
I'll take it. Doesn't matter.
All right, and I'll say it's just like now, you lot. Can anyone tell me where the fuck you came from?
And they just sort of like they say us all around this is it, like you gotta be more specific.
This is like oh, why did you start this and like gesture around like banditry or is it just scavenger? What is it that like? Why not make it honest living?
Said so one of them sort of like steps forward and just like I we didn't have any other choice. He said they destroyed my home. I had nothing left. Specs.
Who did?
He offered us. I said the same people as destroying everybody's homes. The giants. Said I came from Nightstone. It was attacked, destroyed. They dropped boulders from above. Said I ran. I had nothing. I had nobody. Specs found me. Said,
right. So this is like but there's got to be better ways of making a living than risking the dangers of armed travelers and the like. And
he says, to be fair, you attacked us. We were just going to let you pass.
I am aware. I just like I look over to Dibbler. I was like, I'm going to deal with that in a second. Say.
We're not
what
just
snakes do when they whistle.
I said, we're not common bandits. We don't attack people on the road. We only scavenge. And, I think he fancied himself a bit of an archaeologist? Treasure hunter.
Oh man, he's like he was another one like Israel. I just mumble in under my breath. Just like it's just like right. I see. It's just, and I turn towards Nibbler. It's like still a giant snake. I imagine. It's just like, why the hell did you do that? I was going to buy the black eyes off of them for like a normal with gold. It says. There was no need to start killing them.
You're going to pay these bandits.
They're scavengers. They just like admitted as such that they're not actual bandits as much as they are scavengers. Carrions, similar to the ravens and the like.
I didn't know that before.
It's just like, yes, we didn't know that before, but didn't know either that they weren't. It's just like, it's a lot to assume that they were common bandits when they clearly were not going to give us any trouble. They just wanted us to pass.
It's a harsh world. We I'd rather out and attack before being attacked, if there is even a slight chance of being attacked.
Aren't you still a snake?
Yes, but
I'm talking in his head. You guys don't hear anything.
Yeah,
We just see him yelling at a snake. Everyone just sees that.
Yeah, from your perspective, I'm just yelling at the snake.
Yelling at the snake.
How cool, what's he saying?
It's just like he's saying this is a harsh world, and that it's like he would rather be the first to attack if there's even a chance that he's going to be attacked. But if that's the case, you might as well just attack every single person we meet, because every person we meet has a chance of attacking us. You can't.
To be fair, not every person we meet is going to be scavenging in the middle of the.
It's just like
Warning
Not
us
every
away.
single person is going to be at first sight bandits who are scavenging, for all we know, their own kills.
Last we checked, scavenging dead bodies at the side of the road wasn't exactly illegal in the wilderness.
again, he's a snake.
I know, but you others aren't
Ah.
talking.
Yes, I just like I say exactly. That
To
is
be
there's-
fair, it also clearly they didn't kill these people.
yes.
Gesture over at the giant.
And they clearly even some of them or specs even ask like, I wonder who killed killed these people. Says it was clearly not it was clearly not them. They just happened upon this battlefield. It's why I pointed them towards the previous one. Yes.
Yes, these bandits or scavengers who always speak the truth. I've heard of them.
And it's just like there didn't seem to be any lies to what they said. Their weapons weren't bloodied. Their armor weren't bloodied. And it says, and they all seemed pretty fresh. I mean, outside of stinking from probably sleeping out in the wilderness, similar to us, but you know.
It doesn't matter if it's illegal or not. Scavenging is low life thing to do, anyhow.
I look towards Lucas. I look into the slide what's Lucas.
That you yourself haven't killed. When I see what is that.
They say, I'd hate to interrupt this lovely conversation you're having with
Then
a
don't.
snake, but can we go now?
Quick question.
Given you
Yeah,
everything
question.
that we have.
We have-
Do y'all have a base anywhere? A camp?
He says, we did. He said,
You mean
we're,
did?
I said, we don't have a place we return to. We camp out. We travel around looking for battlefields and ruins.
Okay, so you just carry all your wealth on you.
So
He
what?
says,
So what-
well, we, sell it at towns. How the hell do you think we make a living?
I was going to ask, like, don't you ever make yourself way to towns to sell them? Yes.
Like, I don't really care how you make your living. I just want to know if you had more shit on you somewhere.
I'm going to walk over to the one like closest to me, and
Okay.
I am just going to produce this jet gemstone that,
Oh
and
my
I'm going to
God.
and it will say it's like this should fetch you about perhaps 100 gold to the right buyer. It says, and I just like put it in his pocket.
Yeah, he sort of like looks at you and kind of like a little bit like shocked, and he says, he says, you're sure about this?
It's just like
This is
again,
an
I
awful
was
lot of
going
money.
It's just, again, I was going to buy the gemstones off of you fairly. It's just like it's my compatriots' rather nihilistic outlook on life that led to this bloodshed. I am terribly sorry about that. Just, I understand that you're just trying to make your living in this harsh world. Just, and I like pat him on the shoulder and just like you live here. And
He's right. It was kind of our bad for, I guess, attacking like that. When I summoned my bow, I honestly didn't mean to immediately trigger a fight. It was just for,
Said,
In case.
yeah, well,
They
you know,
do,
maybe in future, most people can't magically conjure weapons out of thin air. Maybe
I
like
forget that.
announce that you're gonna do it.
Here, let me. Alquil's right. Let me give you some as well. This is my share of what we took from you guys. I don't know if they're gonna do with theirs, but here's that 11 gold back. And then I'm gonna
Yeah.
hand it to him and give him like a pat on the shoulder, and then in the same process, I want to try to slide a hand the jet gem off of him.
You motherfucker! I'm gonna perception check that fucker.
All right, go ahead and roll the sleight of hand check.
I am going to inspiration this.
I'm going to inspiration the perception check.
All right,
I
go
just
for it.
rolled a 1.
Why is Nibby
I'm waiting.
rolling?
Mine's loading. Oh, I know. I have the pencil.
I want to see if I noticed that he does that.
Well, you rolled twice. Why did you roll twice?
He probably just
Inspiration as well?
he probably just hit it twice.
Hmm. Well, I mean, he gets the reroll because the one.
Oh yeah, lucky.
18. Oh
Alright.
damn, you guys are good.
So the moment I see what he's doing, I'll just reach up and grab his hand as he's like going for the the pocket where the jet gemstone is. It's like, and I like grab it really hard. It's like, leave that.
I'll take back my 11 gold then.
Just like really confused, but like doesn't
Yes.
want to like. He's like, okay, whatever.
It's just like,
Like, can we please just go now?
Look at us like, I don't have any further questions for you. So go
Yeah, he
ahead.
sort of like he like turns to the others and says, you know, boys, I heard there's always open spots for miners in Fireshear.
That place might be attacked by giants soon. Just so you're aware.
He says, any place might be attacked by giants soon.
True enough. Says,
Can I whip this guy and knock him into the river?
Why? I mean, you can, but why?
Bandits.
Make a statement.
Yeah. Displeasure of the situation.
Sure.
I feel like me and Nibby are gonna get along quite well.
Oh man. But yeah, so these guys eventually like pack up. They like drag the bodies of their compatriots and like gather them up and are clearly like gonna do their best, probably like dig shallow graves for them. That's all they could really do. And head on their way.
Yeah, I think we're going to be headed away while they're digging their shallow graves.
All right. And after that, the rest of the day passes relatively uneventfully.
I doze back off on the cart. I don't know what you expected.
No, I was going to just like as I
Yeah.
said, I was going to just trade with them. You know, I was like, why? Like suddenly, let's just call fucking lightning from the sky. Like I know you were just taking out longbow as a precaution, though. Now, in hindsight, from our character's perspective, it looks like you were just going to attack them.
Which is kind of what I thought, out of character.
I assumed
That's why
that we
I wanted
well.
to be the first
Yeah.
one, though.
Like
so-
in
Yeah.
character, it was definitely to like just for like the intimidation factor and like protection if things went
Yeah.
south.
Yeah, like I imagine that's the in-character reason for when they shot lightning. It was like, oh, we're just attacking, or like we're actually fighting.
It was
now.
just a massive misunderstanding from everybody.
Yes.
But this happens.
Yes, it's
We're
like-
down 100 gold because someone wants to give away fucking gems.
As
We
it's
could have had the
yeah.
goodwill and the gem.
just like I look at it as like when I give away what is mine, like it is not for some like a surface gesture of goodwill. It is actually meant as a goodwill. As says. Like I didn't give away your gemstones. I was just like
You tried to.
I look at him. It's like no, I did not.
You tried to force me to give them to the people up in fucking Brunchander.
I was just like those were the giants' gemstones. Says I was talking about like those as Like, as far as I'm concerned, at the time, they belonged to the town of Brinchanda. Says. But the sheriff parted ways with them, allowed you to have them. And therefore they are now yours.
Where am I? Don't have them anymore.
Hmm?
Where am I? I don't have them anymore.
Did you sell them?
Why do you care?
No, I'm just asking since you said you didn't have them anymore.
Yes, I sold them. How do you think we got the map?
It's just like, fair enough. Just,
All right. So you guys had this conversation as you're setting up camp for the night, and yeah, I mean we can just pretty much go ahead and say already checked. Nothing happens during the night, so you're free to take the short rest. Alexei, would you like to spend time identifying
I
the mask that you found?
would.
using the identify spell.
Yes, that's the one I have. So it'll take me 11 minutes.
All right. So you identify the mask. It is a simple enchantment. Nothing too crazy. Um, basically, it doesn't require attunement or anything. It's just like a common item. As long as somebody is wearing the mask, it basically instills them with just like a little bit more like strength and ability to carry, basically. Basically, while you are wearing the mask, your maximum carrying capacity is equal to 16 times your strength score instead of 15 times your strength score.
Alright, fair enough.
So it's a mask of just carry
Carry
more
more
shit.
things. Yeah.
Yep.
But like it's mute because we have a bag of holding.
Well, you know what we need to do? We need to put this mask in the bag of holding.
I
Oh,
mean,
We,
if
yeah.
that's what we want.
we need to put the mask on the bag of holding. You mean?
Oh my god.
I give the mask to Lucas.
Who's carrying the black ice statues, by the way?
I mean, I assume we would put them in the bag of holding. But
Okay.
I
Is
think
that
I
where they
am?
all are? Well, we only have the two now, right? The rest burned.
yeah,
Alright, so we have a mask of Carry More,
carry more.
and we have
Mask of the pack mule.
uh, whatever. And then fucking black ice statue. X2.
There you go.
Oh, it's not even attunement or anything. It's just that.
Nope. It's just you can just have it on.
Awesome.
Like I said, it's a minor thing.
Yep. So how's Nibby doing?
Are we resting or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had
this is a short
we
rest.
had a short rest during the night.
Nothing else occurs during the day.
Uh, inside, I have a two-person tent, so I've crawled into that one.
All right.
How's Nibby feel after today's events?
I don't know. You're gonna have to ask him.
I mean, I'll go see Nibby. Me and him both seem to be kind of on the same sort of like wavelength here. In a way. So like, I'll find some time to see Nibby. I was like, how you doing, Nibby?
I'm doing fine. Why do you ask?
Just wondering after Alquil's pretty much berated you.
Well, I'm confused by his towards potentially dangerous strangers.
Just to see
I've seen
what
him
this- Yeah, fix this.
like he seems to want to give away things to. He's a rewarding ish.
Alquill is a very
I don't know how to explain it,
altruistic
really.
person, and
I don't know how to explain it. It feels like
yeah,
he's living in a different world than we are in.
yeah, he does seem to have a fantasy that things can always be solved in a, for the most part, in a civilized manner.
I
So at
guess.
least when he realizes that they can't, he will fight it. But there was a much simpler way to get what we wanted today, and that was the one you took. Which, that is what I assumed we would have to do anyways. I'm a little upset that he actually gave away that gemstone.
Trying to explain to someone that the possession they carry is varied, and they instead of giving it up freely, they want give them. He'll reward them. But to not put people in danger.
You were cutting out, I didn't hear that one.
It's basically rewarding. He was trying to buy the black ice from them, which is very dangerous.
Yes.
That's the part I don't get. Like, Avengers, what they were doing there might not be bad, but trying to get money for not danger with the black ice.
To be fair, the bandits didn't rightfully know that. They had no reason to believe us that it was dangerous. Did they?
Believe them that what they were doing there was what they said they were doing. Still cutting out.
Yeah,
A
you're
little
still
bit.
a little bit
A
cutting
little
out,
bit.
Oh yeah, I heard basically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like every like split second, from time to time.
There's also a lot of static coming from you right now.
Oh, that's probably because he lowered the decibel value of what needs to be, what the
He's,
mic picks up.
Alquill definitely tries to do things in too much of a good way when you can just do it simpler. You could have even done it simpler without bloodshed. He did. He went a little too far in trying to buy it off of them.
Yeah,
He could
at
have
this
done that without killing
really
them
do
as
it.
well.
Yeah, I didn't really do it because it was simple. They didn't deserve to be traded with for. I'm not sure how to explain it really.
Dying guys.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right.
there's that. Anything else? Anybody wants to do while they're camped? Any conversations that people want to have? Or can we just go ahead and keep on keeping on?
Keep it on. Keep it on.
Keep on keeping on.
All right.
I
All
love
right.
Jack.
So the night comes to a close, and you all wake up the following day. Um, um,
And if we one day wake up the previous day.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's
No.
maybe.
What they wake up the day after the following day.
Oh man.
Or one
Well,
day
that's not impossible. There's just a lot of sleeping involved.
Yep. Or we one day wake up or don't wake up at all.
We wake up dead.
Wake up dead. We wake up in the fugue plane.
What happened here? All right, so the next day, you guys are traveling along again, still through these sort of like half frozen kind of like tundra up in the north. You could see to your left the sort of towering mountains of the spine of the world dominating the horizon, and you could kind of begin to see you're entering into a bit of like a hillier area, um, and the day kind of seems uh, to like pass relatively uneventfully. There are like occasionally like you'll see uh, like creatures off to the side of the road, but they like steer clear of you, and you kind of steer clear of them. Traveling on the road isn't really incredibly dangerous, so there's not really anything that interrupts you today. You begin to reach the end of the day, and there's a marking up ahead that sort of just indicates that there is like a river crossing area. Um, and Alcohol, you would know it's kind of this. There's not really like a bridge per se. It's kind of a river. It's like a shallowish river, but it's going to be like an endeavor to get across. An endeavor that's going to take more time than you really have left to travel. Um, and So you sort of set up camp to one side um, of the river. And as you do, uh, coming up to the end of the traveling day, you see coming across the the river is this sort of like large kind of group of people. They seem to have many different like wagons, all of them like packed tight with supplies of some sort. You can't quite see what they have. They're all kind of like tarped over and protected against the weather. Um, but you could see that there's an elven man, like an older elven man, dressed in this sort of like I guess like this kind of like a gaudy like patchwork suit. Um, and There are about like 20 or so like other people of like various different races, all of them like pretty dressed in a like non-standard kind of fashion, um, and their wagons are kind of like colorfully painted, um, and they kind of like see you, and the man kind of like waves at you, and he says, "Hail, travelers!" Um, he says, "This campsite taken."
I like this is during the morning or during the night.
This is towards the end of the day. You guys basically had to like set up. You didn't have enough time to ford the river, so you kind of had to set up camp on one side of the river a little bit ways back, and they're basically right at the end of the traveling day, like coming up, finishing their like crossing of the river and like coming upon where your campsite is.
Right. So it's just like I guess it was like a hail. So it's like look over and like, how do they look like? Do they look like do they look like sort of banditry people or?
Wearing sort of
I mean, their
boots,
outfits are far too like gaudy and like if they're
Right.
bandits, they're one of those like strange, like you've heard of them before, like these strange like themed banditry groups.
This is like,
Like
Themed
you heard
banditry groups.
you heard tales once of like a group of bandits that like dressed up as vampires to like intimidate people. Um, so I mean
right. I see.
it's but it doesn't really
Yeah.
strike you as that way.
Yeah, so it's just like I was like I hear it's just like I look into the others, like trying to gauge if there's any like us. It's like, Well, we're camping here, but look towards the others. How many of them were there in these boats or whatever?
There's about 20 people, give or take. And they have like a few like animals like with them, obviously, like pulling their wagons. So there's like quite a few people.
Yeah, I look to my compatriots and it's like, but I suppose unless anyone has any objections, we could share the site. Look to the others.
Shrug.
He says, excellent, excellent. Well, he says, in return for your generous hospitality, and he kind of gives this like exaggerated kind of like theatrical bow, and he says, you are of course welcome to join us at our encampment. As we are a bit of a uh, lively folk.
In what way, you mean?
And he says, well, we like to sing and dance, and play music. He says, into the wee hours of the night. Drinks are had all around.
Nice. Seems like I get to uphold some good oaths right. Some of my fucking paladin oaths right now. As it's like, well, I certainly don't mind. I say, like, laugh, and perhaps I will join you. And
The more the merrier.
yes.
I was about to kill them, but then I said something about alcohol, so.
Yes, David was about to cast cold lightning, but booze. But look at this.
Yeah.
You found my safe word.
But what about look at this debate? If you kill them, you get all the boost yourself.
Oh God.
Convince me, I can't do nothing.
All right, so it's quite a process for them to like set up their encampment. They have like these big like canopy tents that they basically like camp out in. And you can see now that the many of the wagons, the sides of the wagons are painted with this sort of like kind of colorful like carnival-esque artwork, and on the side of it it says Riker's Carnival of Wonders. And yeah, so he like you're like talking to mostly to the man who you assume is the titular Riker. He's like
Yeah.
he's a wood elf, looks like older in years. Looks like he's been around for a long time. And yeah, so he's kind of like as his like crew are setting up basically. He's just kind of like asking like where you came from and where you're going.
Yeah, and Alquill would probably not be that like wouldn't be secretive, so he would just like he would tell them about like coming from 10 towns from the Icewind Dale, and that we're heading to Waterdeep without saying exactly like, oh well, I would share the news of Frost of like how the 10 towns have been attacked by frost giants. See no reason why not to.
Yeah, he kind of gets this like kind of like dour look on his face as you say
Yeah.
that. When he says, truly, he says, I have heard that the giants are acting up recently, but I think even so far north as the Dales. He says, so well, regardless of that, the show must go on.
Oh no, we
says-
met Beacon.
He says, for our part, we're traveling our way towards Iron Master. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. It's probably a waste of time, but I've got a
Probably
smooth
is.
tongue. And he says, I'm aiming to be the first troop to ever perform within Iron Master's walls. And he says, failing that, we'll probably head up to the Dales for a tour.
Pack your clothes heavily in that case, and you most likely are going to be failing that. He says, no offense to you or yours. That's just how Iron Master is.
Yeah, so he sort of like smiles and he says, you never know without trying.
Just, true enough. I say. You should also know then that Iron Master had their own share of trouble. Giants in the Underdark, apparently.
He says, now that is something I've never heard of. Giants pillaging the coast, sure, raiding farms, but attacking the dwarves underground.
I nod. Yes. Strange. I found it. I found it strange as well. According to what the dwarves, well, you could speak to Briark Ornskull. Yes, could have given you a more first-hand account, I'm sure. But from what I've heard, these giants also have the ability to, like, those who have fought them have ended up very disfigured and misshapen.
He sort of like kind of like gets this like grim look on his face, and he says, truly, he says, wow, that's terrifying. Maybe perhaps we should steer clear of Iron Master after all. He says, after all, he says, our visages are just about the only tool that we have. He says, woe,
I did not mean
woe
to
betide unto me should I come to be scarred such.
So it's like, I did not mean to scare you in such a manner, but just sharing the news I've heard on the road. Take it for what it was.
That's what I've heard on the road anyway.
Yes. References.
He says, aye, well, you're traveling by way of Luskin. We saw quite a sight back there, I might say. He says, a large vessel sailed into the docks, rammed itself into into the ships parked there. He says, don't rightly know what happened. I was watching from far away, but there was flashes of light, and well, the docks were burning for quite some time.
How large are we talking?
Massive, largest I've ever seen. Said a ship unlike in construction unlike any I've ever seen before. He says it was large, looked sort of like a almost more like a canoe, but on a larger scale. He says there was sort of leathery hides strapped as the sails, and quite a few bones decorating the hull. I thought
see.
better of getting too close to the situation to see what was up, though.
How long ago was this?
Oh, and he says, well, it's been about 4 days since we left. Right about that long, 3 or 4 days.
Okay. Jesus, that was like around it. That's before, I think, we actually met the Griffin Rider, or around the same day, so it can't be the same ship she saw that came from the north.
The schedule might have escalated.
So it's like, yes, it may perhaps.
I said, from what I heard at the tavern, rumors are that the sightings of such ships have become more and more common recently, all along the coast.
And nod. I was just like, we heard news from Fireshare of similar ships.
And yeah, he says, well, at first I was thinking of perhaps catching a boat up closer, but once I had heard of those ships and seen what happened at the docks, I thought better of it.
Yes, that would perhaps be not be the best way of traveling these days.
Yeah, he says, yeah, and they've basically like finished setting up the camp now, and they're like bringing around drinks to whoever wants them. It's a mix of they've got like wine, ale, mead, like whatever. Like they've got all sorts of drinks, and they like share them around. And basically just begin sort of like there's like music playing, and this sort of like festive atmosphere. I think you probably like get approached at some point or another, like each of you, by a member of the congregation, as it were, just like looking to like dance or make idle conversation or what have you.
Yes. I will definitely partake in these festivities.
No reason not to.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, they begin going on and on into the night. It starts drawing late. Right about the time when you would probably just be like heading to sleep and starting to set up your watches. But there's like no sign that they're gonna stop anytime soon. Quite a few of the members of this carnival have gotten like way drunk. Like some
Alexei
of them
has
are
one
like
drink in
passing
front.
out. Um, and they seem to be having a bit more of a good time than perhaps you expected.
Does it seem to be more than they expected as well?
No, this seems to be like
Okay.
the status quo for them.
All right.
Alquill, this was a good idea.
Yeah, this is like
Drinking with these people.
this is like yes, it's like it's always good to lighten up every now and again. It's like just enjoy
yeah,
enjoy the festivities.
Some of them like
Yeah,
show
yeah.
off. Some of them like show off some of their like tricks. Basically, there's
Yeah.
like a fire swallower and like a juggler, and Riker like shows off this thing where he basically like can like he'll wave his hand in front of his face and it'll like change into something completely different. Um, just like
And?
carnival tricks. Yeah, he'll like
That's
wave
amazing.
he like waves a hand in front of his face, and as it like passes over his face like transforms and looks like a completely different person. And then he like puts his hand back up and it transforms back.
That's amazing. How did you do that?
He doesn't have a hat on, does he?
No, he's not wearing a hat.
Okay. Sadly I don't have any harps. I can't play any from my harp. My
Now
harp
that
is-
little girl is a trade secret.
What? That's. I want to know.
just like I just like lean back over to. No, actually, I wouldn't try to burst any bubbles after.
Oh, and yeah, I mean,
Harp
basically,
Evolutions.
like there looks like there's no end in sight. So who is like actually going to like just continue staying up and partying, and who is just gonna be like, actually, I should probably go.
Well, Alexei has one drink and is drunk, so I imagine she'd probably keep going.
I think
Have a drink more and then collapse.
Quill will keep going. He has to preserve his own light, as does the oath as the oath has been sworn.
I
So
must
shall
party
he.
as hard as I have ever partied before.
And does any of these people want to gamble?
The
They
oath-
don't really seem to be like interested
The
in
gambling
in
type?
Gambling,
Even though
yeah, they're not really
I
the.
put it out there. All
They're
right.
not really. The
I'll
gambling type.
play cards with you, Lucas.
I look around. I don't know. I was gonna say like what this fucking.
I just looked into my fucking inventory. I still have this fake dark.
The evidence of Baelish Gant and Slim's crimes. One day it will be used.
Well,
All right.
Slim is dead. I think. Yeah. Slim is dead.
I won't drink on, and I'll like take the first watch, and then I think nobody else is going to have a watch.
Man, is there anything worth stealing around here, Brad?
What? Are you not gambling with me?
No, I'm not.
Not at, like
Lucas!
at first glance, they seem to have a lot of just like, you know, costumes and like props for their like show.
Meh.
You would have to like do a lot of digging around to find anything of value.
I'd have to do a check, is what you're saying.
Perhaps.
What?
Perhaps
like,
multiple
yeah,
checks.
do it. Fine, let's do a check.
Well, it would be investigation and stealth to do it like without being seen.
It was 17 regardless.
Okay.
An investigation?
Yep.
That's a little bit better than my perception. 17.
Yeah, so I think you kind of like find an excuse to like excuse yourself from the party and like move off into the quiet where there's a yeah, I heard that. And move off away towards where they have their like wagons and stuff set up. And searching around, there, like I said, there's not really much in most of the wagons, but in the like front and like the largest and most colorful of the wagons, in the back there is this like large locked iron chest.
Large locked iron chest.
Mhm.
Look around. I'm assuming the party's still going.
Yeah, you can like still hear the like sounds of music drifting over. Like nobody is actually anywhere near these wagons.
have lockpicks? I know for fucking sure I bought some. Yeah, there it is. These tools. Do I sense anything magical about this, or can I do that?
Do you have detect magic?
No.
Then no.
Let's try some lockpicking.
Sure.
D20 plus Dex plus proficiency +4 +3.
On the road
11. I
again.
failed.
Yeah, no, it's far too complicated of a lock for you.
Do I get another try?
No.
Okay. Just kind of like tisk a bit. But then I go back to the party,
Yeah.
and
Meanwhile, while they're partying away, the first couple of hours of the night passes, and the party is still going. Nibby, you are kind of off keeping a watch. Why don't you go ahead and give me a perception check, while you are keeping watch.
Oh yeah.
good man. There's a reason we keep you.
So, you you probably see at one point during the watch like Lucas sneak off somewhere and then like return. Um, a little bit later. I don't know if you would have like followed him to see what he was up to, um, or just continued like keeping a watch outside of the camp. Um, um, but other than that, you don't really see anything of interest like occur. There's like creatures moving around in the outskirts of the area, but none of them are dangerous in any sort of way. Um, and the first couple of hours passes. Um, the night is still young, however, for this traveling troop, and the party is continuing into the second watch period.
Does anyone have any cards?
Can I try to?
Do any of these
Does
guys
any-
have any cards we can play with?
I'm sure you could find like cards. Somebody, there's probably like fortune telling cards, but like you can you can like make
Oh,
do.
We got these cards out, Quill. Let's play.
It's just like like. Right, very well. What do you want to play then?
Let's play. Is there any like in world card games
what is it? Isn't
in like
Three
Forgotten
Dragon
Realms?
Ante one?
Free
Is that
Dragon
something-
Ante.
Or is that the dice game?
Free Dragon
Or
Antis.
where am I remembering Three Dragon Ante from?
I think
Or is
Three
that
Dragon
something I just
Ante is
made
the
up?
card game.
Let's play Free Dragon Ante. And any good game, we have to put something on the table. So I guess you'll like reach into our satchel and pull out like that jet gemstone that we got and just put that down. Let's play for these.
Just like I look at it, that gemstone. It's just like, well, I gave mine away, but I do have money to put up. Perhaps not
Perfect.
enough to be worth. Oh well, good. All right, I'll put up some money.
100 gold.
I don't have 100 gold. I have 59 at most.
All right, perfect. Good enough. Let's go.
Man,
Actually,
How's it going
I-
over here, guys?
I'm going to put up my bloodstone.
Yes.
Oh man.
Perfect.
All
Okay.
right. So Lucas's card game senses are tingling.
Yes.
You want to join in?
Yes.
Okay.
But you said you didn't want to play with me.
I didn't have any cards. I was going to play a dice game.
All right, buy in. What are you betting?
I see the jet and the bloodstone. You betting the bloodstone?
You sound like someone trying to sound like Trump.
I mean, I'm playing with Alexei, so. If the bloodstone passes hands to her, we still have the bloodstone.
Yeah,
Fair
it's also
enough.
coins.
I ante up a book I have in my possession.
What's
I guess
that?
we're doing
Nice.
this.
What's that
It has
book?
an oral star on it, the Star of Oral on it.
Unless there's someone else who's also playing this game right now.
No, it's just
Me?
you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Lucas, what's that book?
It's a book of oral.
What?
That's just,
I know. Aren't you curious to see what's in it?
Yeah.
How much you enjoy these books?
I lead over to Lucas. It's like, isn't that from like 9 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't know
thought
why I
so.
still have it.
It's just like, oh, cool. Yeah. Anyway, yep. I like just slap on the shoulder. Like, go back to yeah. Right. All right. That's the buy-in then.
All right,
Okay.
so Alexei begins drunkenly shuffling the cards, I assume.
Spills them quite a few times.
Yep. But eventually you do that, and she like deals it out. And Alquil and Lucas, you're still sort of level-headed, and you just like look down at the cards you've been given, and you're just like, "What the fuck is this?" Because they're just like drawings of like there's no numbers on them or anything. They're just like drawings with like words on them. So you're not really sure like how the hell you're even gonna play this game with these cards. But Alexei doesn't seem to notice.
Um, I'll just discreetly like look towards if there's anyone like of the party people still here who we borrow the cards from.
They're
That's right.
around. They're not. They're
Yeah,
not gone.
I'll just like I quickly like just give me a moment. I need another drink. I say, I like get up and I'll walk over to one of the people. It's like, excuse me, excuse me, like how do you play with these cards?
What it says though. She like looks at you, looks at the cards and says,
You
"Play
don't.
with them. Those are for fortune telling. You don't play with them."
I slap like slap my head. It's like my quite drunken friend seems to have like gotten a hold of these cards for the sake of trying to play a card game. But
Meanwhile, I'm like, hands down, royal flush.
How
Oh,
drunk
no.
could she be?
I just like, I don't think she's noticed they're not playing cards. I don't want to burst her bubble.
Royal flush, I say.
She just laughs.
Again.
Yeah, Alexa, you've got a 1, a 5, you know, a
There's
king.
a cup in there for some reason.
Yeah, there's a cup. You're not sure what that must be a new one. They must have just added that one in the DLC.
A picture of the Grim Reaper.
But your hand is terrible. Like nothing matches up.
I'm being cleaned out.
I walk back to the table and like sit down and I'm like okay, so what's going on?
Lucas has cleaned me out. He got like 3 royal flushes.
I blink. I look over at Lucas. I was like, I have this look of like, and I realize like, they're just fortune telling cards. Right?
I just look him dead in the eyes, like, what?
This is like, these cards are just fortune telling cards. There's no way to actually play with them. I asked. Yeah. Are you just being? Are you just being like cruel for the sake of being cruel? Just take it.
Don't worry, I'll let her have the book at the end.
Okay, right, cool.
I keep the jet though.
Yeah, like I don't really care about that.
All right, so Nibby, while they're doing this, are you still like keeping watch, or have you like returned to
I mean, I'll keep watch for as long as I can without suffering like exhaustion the next day.
Yeah,
how
you
they
basically
work,
like you would have to go to sleep like right after that first watch. Otherwise you're
probably do.
gonna maybe suffer. It would be a con check to see if you would be exhausted after it, but yeah, you like head to sleep.
What's the DC of that card?
I'll do one more then if I can make contact to combat it.
Sure, yeah. It's not it basically it starts not difficult, but then like gets more and more difficult as like you stay up more days.
Cool.
I'll just do one more watch then and then go to
Okay.
bed.
Yeah, so go ahead and give me a perception check. Nice.
19,
So
2019.
about an hour into the second watch period, you're kind of like on the outskirts of the camp. You can hear the music, the like shouting, and like yelling. It's all very loud. And there's like bright light coming from this large roaring fire, um, and you're getting like a little bit tired, but you like muscle through it, and keep a watch. And about an hour passes before you don't really like hear or see anything, but you feel something. Um, you begin to feel like a slight kind of like you don't notice it at first, but it becomes more and more pronounced. There's like a slight rumbling sound, or like a rumbling in the ground, and it's getting like kind of more and more um, intense.
Do I mean, earthquake feel or something moving?
Um, I mean, it's hard to tell the distinction, but looking around towards kind of where you feel it coming from, you see off in the distance, barely like your eyesight's not too good out in the dark, but you see out in the distance um, what looks like amongst like some of the hills, what looks like a rather large, huge, in fact, figure, uh, sort of hands up, like on its tiptoes, like trying to like sneak closer. Rather comically looking. It is
Uh,
like it's kind of like this big, like roundish creature. Um,
which direction?
Sort of off towards the like towards the east of the camp. Um, a little bit like north, not from across the river, but like a bit north of it.
Uh, get within 30 feet of Alquill, and I'll say in his head, God, giant figures coming.
I like immediately. I'm assuming we're still like playing the card game. So as this is happening, I just like I put out my hand. It's like giant to the north. I say, or no, the giant, not giant to the north. Versus like a giant. I say.
That's a new hand I've never heard of.
Does that mean you win?
I'll grab my bloodstone and like start putting it in the pack and like looking towards Lucas. Like I look around, like starting to see from like towards Nibby. It's like where?
I'll just point where. Actually, how far away would this be?
It was about like 90 feet away from the outskirts of the camp when you saw it, and it seemed to be making its way over towards the troops like encampment area.
I'll throw this in the direction of where I saw it.
Produce. Oh, okay.
I mean, not well. I mean, if I hit something, sure, but I mean, just to show where I saw it, which direction.
You heard it, but it's only towards 30
Yeah,
feet.
it's only within 30 feet, and it has to target a creature.
Just throw it. I'm not actually aiming for something. I'm just showed
That's the thing.
direction
Brad's
where
one
Well,
of
yeah.
those people.
That's
can't.
like a flare, basically.
Yeah, so it's not like the firebolt spell. The firebolt spell can just be fired at anything. This produce flame specifies it has to be thrown at a creature.
Yeah, Brad's one of those DMs.
What do you mean one of those DMs? That's the rules.
In the direction. Can I still not see the silhouette, or has it
I mean,
hidden somewhere?
you can see it because it's large. And like it's like quite clearly like trying, like as you lead Alquil over there, you can still see it's like very slowly like on tiptoes, like making its way. But even tiptoeing, it's like making the ground like rumble. And Alquil, you can like feel this as you get like closer. And you
Yeah.
can like see this like creature basically like sort of like cartoon style like tiptoe sneaking like through the open like fields towards the camp.
I will run over towards the other camp, and as I'm doing it, I'm going to yell, "Giants!" There's a giant sneaking about.
Fine, Lucas, here, and I give you the
And you
gemstone.
say that, and everybody's just like, "Giants! Now that's a good tale."
I will use, if I see where this, I'm going to cast Moonbeam right on the top of it.
Summon my bow.
So you do that. Like you could sort of vaguely see where it is. You cast a moonbeam over towards the giant. This big like beam of like whitish gray light descends down on its form, like illuminating this large hill giant. Um, that is like sort of in the midst of sneaking. Um, and yeah, you do that, and you just hear like a yell. It says, "No scene mog! Why burn?"
Mog! Where's Mog? I yell back at him. Where's Mog?
I shout again, giant over there. I say, and like,
Yeah, the party troop
Go
doesn't
man.
seem to be interested at all.
fuck.
Are they
Well-
leaving? Are they running?
No,
Or do they just
They're-
not believe us?
they're fucking
they're
wasted.
So I'm gonna just sigh, like grab my sword, and it's like, well, it looks like we're dealing with
Just
this.
fate.
Can I try to
We're-
like smack Riker awake, or is like into his senses, or is he just too far gone?
They're all kind of too far gone.
Can I sleight of hand him to see if I can pickpocket a key off of him?
I'm going to go running towards the giants.
I'll join him.
Alexei's too drunk.
Great.
Alright,
so
so,
it's two
Do you
versus
really
a
big?
giant.
Two versus a giant, a hill giant.
So Alquil and maybe give chase. Lucas is trying to pickpocket the carnival master, and
See if I can
Alexei is
find a
just
key on him
drunk.
fast.
So let us see here. Okay, so you and Nibby run off towards the giant, who like as you like cast this moonbeam, obviously like he begins like in it, so it's
Yeah.
gonna like sear him a bit. As soon as you like cast it on him, he starts to like back away, like trying to like get out of it, and he's like put his hands in front of his face, and like you watch as he's like stepping backwards, and like almost trips over like a fallen log, stumbling back, and he's just like waving his hands in front of his face, like no, see, you can't see.
And I'm just gonna, spend my movement action to move it, to move, and like my action just moving the moonbeam onto him, just keep it on him.
Okay,
if he's
so
like trying
you
to
are
go,
this giant is making no hostile efforts towards you, but you're going to continue throwing this beam on top of him. All right.
well, he's
You mean
He's-
sneaking
what
up
happened
with
to
someone is
diplomacy?
considered hostile?
Brad.
I mean, he was sneaking up on us. I mean, this guy
so
was sneaking.
sneaking up on people is hostile enough, but looting corpses isn't.
Looting corpses doesn't
I'm
harm
fucking with you,
anyone.
dude. I'm
You
fucking with you.
fucking idiot. Anyways, I was
Alright,
like,
yeah, so you-
I'll scream up in giant at him. It's like, why are you here? What do you want?
Yeah, so you do that. Like he's still like backing up. He gets burned again by the moonbeam.
Yeah.
And he's like, you hear him like begin like crying. And he's just like, Mog smelled Kumi's sweet ale. Wanted taste. Ah, why hurt Mog?
It's just like, why did he sneak up us on that instead of just walking in normally? And I will just stop concentrating on the moonbeam.
Mog no want scare small humies.
This is like sneaking up on us is usually more frightening than just walking like straight up. I say.
Would we really have a giant lumbering into the camp?
And so it's like, I look towards Dibby. It's like, but well, fair point. Say.
Not saying either option was good for him, but
Yes, giants are generally scary to begin with. It's like, I apologize for jumping to conclusions. It's just like, and I will like approach this guy. Also, I have a fucking insight check him.
Man. Brad, do I have a key yet?
Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
I did.
No, because he does not have a key on him.
Okay, does he have anything else on him?
He's got a let's see, what does he have? He has like a handkerchief. He's got like some sort of like coin, but it's not like a money coin. Basically, no. He's just got a bunch of junk on him.
All right.
They aren't carrying anything valuable on them.
What a Dumbo. Alright, I fucking summon my bow and I go chasing after this giant. Hostile giant.
I cast Call Lightning.
And I just fucking pick up Alex and just drag her with me. He's like, come on, Alex, we got a giant.
So yeah, you do
he-
that.
James is BRBing at the moment.
Sure, he won't protect.
Wait, I'm not BRB'd anymore. What I missed?
Pick you up
Look-
and drag you. Like, come on, Alex,
What?
Alexa, we got a giant.
What do you mean, giant?
So yeah, meanwhile, back with the other two, sort of like snapped off the light, and this giant's just like, mug, sorry, just
Says-
hungry, smelled
Says-
good.
Right, I says I'll turn toward like the camp. As to say, it's like, well, I'll see if I can like if they are willing to share with Mug.
Um, like,
Yes?
isn't he going to clean us out on food?
It's just I look at Nibby and I say it's like I like basically shrug.
Wait, I'll try something, and I'll cast Goodberry.
Okay.
I'll give him 2 good berries.
All right. He just sort of like
Eat this.
looks at it, and he's like, tiny berry. Tastes good.
Let's try them.
Oh. And he sort of just like swallows it in one go. The two of them. He says, berry tastes good. Got more?
Just give him all 10. Give him all 10. I want to see what happens.
Yeah, I'll just give him the remaining 8.
All right. He like shovels them all down, and like kind of like says Mug feel funny. And he like belches loudly, and he says, more, and starts like clapping his hands.
I start walking back to. I've been walking back to the camp during this.
Lucas, I don't want to go.
Come on, get a fireball already. We're about to fucking fight a giant.
What was your name, friend?
This is me, Mog.
Mog. Okay. Are you still hungry, Mog?
What the fuck is he still hungry?
Mog always hungry.
Have a tapeworm, Mog?
What that?
Nothing.
At this point, probably
Let's
like
see how far you
Lucas,
can take this. I'll give him
Lucas-
10 more.
Lucas and Alexei, kind of like come running up and just see like Nibelung like just shoveling berries at this giant. Meanwhile, Alquil, you have arrived at the camp. You can see like Riker and some of the other performers kind of
Yeah.
drinking.
So I will walk over to Riker and it's just like I'm like grab him by the shoulder. It's like, do you have ale or food to spare for a hungry giant?
He says, yeah. So you like grab him, and he kind of like shakes a bit, and he says, hungry giant. He says, well, we've got plenty of food and drink to quench your appetite.
I gesture backwards towards like where the giant is, as it's like, no, there's actually a legit giant here.
He sort of like looks over, and, like blinks a few times. He says, "Whoa, an actual giant."
Yes.
Did he eat some mushrooms or something?
I mean, you don't know.
No.
By
yeah,
me,
he sort
right?
of like he says, well, we're pretty well stocked. He says, giant though. Look at the size of him.
Yeah, he's kind of he's hungry, and he also smelled the alcohol and wanted to partake in the festivities, as it were. Was wondering if you had anything to spare.
And he says, well, is that all? He says, we always have more to spare for a guest. And he
This ain't
says,
gonna end well.
No, it's not. but maybe we'll get a giant friend. Just kidding. That's cool.
He says, bring him over, bring him over. He says, I've never shared drinks with a giant before. This ought to be fun.
I shout out to Nibble. It's like the carnival people wants you to bring the giant over. They have food and drinks to spare.
Meanwhile, he has shoveled down the second helping of berries. Again, just belches loudly.
See, Lucas, we can go back now.
I'll just
All right, Mog. Let's
carry
go
her
to
back
the
over.
Yeah, more party.
Just be careful where you're stepping, okay?
He says, Mog, be careful. Have more berries. Mog like.
Sure.
Waste all your spells
Yeah,
now.
use all your
You're
spells.
cleaning out my first levels, man.
So he greedily scarfs them down. And you guys make your way over to the camp where the giant begins exchanging words very poorly in broken common, with the leader of the 30 days worth of food, with the leader of the troop, and yeah, the members of the troop initially seem to act kind of shocked and surprised at the sight of this giant lumbering into their camp, but all of that fades away quickly, as they begin to share food and drink, and they seem to make actually kind of fast friends. Mog seems to enjoy their company as they enjoy Mog's, um, and yeah, he joins in.
I imagine
Oh.
at some point Alexei starts referring to herself in the third person as well. Alexei like Mog.
Alexa,
Yeah, and Mog's just Mog like little Yumi too.
And I love you, random citizen.
Oh my god, I watched Mastermind yesterday.
Yumi have good food. Mog like. And he's he's starting to get tipsy too from drinking.
Yeah.
So, Mog, what are you doing out here all by yourself?
And he says, Mog run.
Run
Scared.
from what?
He says,
What's a
Chief.
big guy like you scared of?
Chief Guh.
Chief
Scary.
What? Chief who?
Mog say Chief Guh.
Who?
Why are you afraid of him?
She big. He said, say
Bigger than
giant. He said, say giant grow bigger. Eat our food, no share. Want marry Mog. Mog no like, not share. Mog run.
Are they after you?
Mog not know.
Fair enough.
Go say tribe breed Yumi farm. Big farm. Said Mog no want raid Yumi farm.
How far have you been running, Mog?
He says, long time, many moon.
That terrible Mog. Alexei feel bad for you.
I slap Alexei.
Ow.
No, don't hurt. You're gonna hurt his new Humi friend.
Give him 30 days worth of food. He's my friend.
I just look up at him. It's just like, where is Chief Ga?
Chief Guh, Groundhog. He sort of looks
7?
around. He's like, that
It's okay.
way, and starts like pointing in like random directions.
Oh,
Mog lost.
right. I don't suppose showing a map would help either.
Map? What that? Humy thing?
It's a piece of paper that shows you where you are, or like it shows you the area, the world, and you can find out where you are based. Like I get out. Well, it's Lucas.
He starts like scratching his
touching my
head and
map.
like looking like rather confused.
I was just like, never mind. Just it's Yumi thing.
You mean a many thing.
Yes.
Indeed, we
But
do.
our things are smaller than your things.
Well, we haven't seen his thing. We don't know if it's smaller.
Oh.
Dick, you little bitch.
Says some. Yes, small mug. Wonder how Yumi use such small thing.
It's just like, well, we're small people.
It says, but small people can grow big. Just eat and grow big like giant. Yes.
That is not exactly how it works now. No, we don't grow bigger by eating. We just grow wider.
He says, what difference? Got real big. She eat lot.
That might be a giant thing.
Mog no understand.
Giant and Yumi different. Our bodies work differently. You eat a lot, you grow bigger. We eat a lot, we die.
Mog feel bad for Yumi. Eat too much and die. Sad.
Yeah.
Mog not ever wish not eat.
Just,
That's
it's
why
another
Mog
world.
run.
That's why, we obviously we still eat. If we don't eat at all, we'll also die. But we can't eat too much. It's a balancing act.
Sound hard. Mog think Mog stay Mog.
yes, that's probably a good idea, Mark.
It's the best thing ever.
Just like, we have this hillside now. It's just like, so where are you gonna go, Mog?
Mog, go far. Keep walk.
Alexei think Mog should come with us.
I like glance over at Alexa. I like look. What? I'm sorry. What?
Mog should come with us.
Just I look at the giant. That's like, I'm not too sure that's a good idea.
Why no?
I slap her again.
That's just like, well, we don't have the food for one thing, I say. For the other, I'm not sure how the cities and travelers will react if we have a giant with us, especially with the current times. 'Cause
Alexei think that ridiculous. We can't leave Mog.
I will. Okay, it's just like I.
Uncle, I'm apparently not strong enough. Can you slap her for me?
Just like. I'm so sorry to take this away from you, but we need you to have a clear head. I will use lay on hands.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, Alexei,
Just-
you like snap too. You're not really sure
Huh?
what's
What?
going on, but there's a giant standing right fucking there.
Whoa.
it's just like don't scream. He's friendly.
What What's going on?
This is Mog. Mog likes food. Mog also likes booze. You like Mog. At least you did when you were drunk.
I'm Mog.
Hi, Mog. I, Alexei. What's what's going on, Alquill?
A
The
giant.
last thing I remember is we like rocked up to this camp and had a drink.
This is like. Yeah, you were pretty gone pretty quickly. As I said.
Exactly. A drink.
Yes. You need to work on your constitution, I say. And then like say like this is Mark. He was sneaking up on the camp. He's a lone giant, hill giant, fleeing from his chief, who wants to keep all the food for herself. And Mog's just been wandering. He was hungry. He smelled the food and the booze and came over. And here we are.
Yes, gotta steal all food. Say she eat become biggest giant, king of all giant.
Wait,
Mog just want food.
Oh, that's terrible. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
I said,
You also
worse. She even want to marry Mog. Ugh.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that bit.
As it's like, if it was any particular reason she wanted to marry Mog.
She said, go marry all giant.
Kinds of marriages?
Take them all. Greedy. All food, all men, all guys.
Okay, that
She
is
chief.
Wow, is this Big Mom?
Are we taking the bait? That's my question.
This like, well, what bait? He doesn't know. He can't bring us to her. To begin with, he doesn't know where he is.
Fair enough.
That's where she is, isn't it?
Yes.
If he
No,
doesn't
no,
know
no,
where
no.
he
Where
is,
Mog has no idea where he is. To begin with,
Oh right, yeah.
like Mog does not know where Mog is. Mog cannot lead us back to Chief Ge as a result. Mog has no idea how he traveled here.
So has Mog? So wait, what? Oh, so he just appeared here?
Yes, he just wandered here. We had
Oh,
a bit of a misunderstanding.
Yes. And while you were drunk, Alexei, you were offering to have him come with us.
Yes, which is why we had to sober you up.
Yes. Humies burn Mog's skin, but berries make feel better. More berry?
How could...
no, Mog, I don't have any more berries. Sorry.
Mog drink ale instead.
Alexei leans over to Alcuin and is like, would it be a bad idea to take him with us, though?
Yes.
We don't have the food.
I feel bad for him, though.
We don't
Also,
have... Yes.
if we encounter any other people, and any of them are giant, because they are not drunk, might be to attack.
But he'll be with us, and we're people. We're real people.
Well, they'll see a giant much sooner than they'll see us.
Plus, it's not like we could take him into the cities. I've never heard of us. I assume I sort of like look towards everyone like there's. Okay, I've never seen a giant in Alaska.
Brad, giants in Waterdeep, yeah or nay?
Make a history check.
All right. 22.
Not currently, but you've heard that in the past there's been at least like one or two.
Giants have been in Waterdeep before. It's not an entirely unheard of thing.
Pretty rare, but yeah, it's happened.
It's like, okay, the main problem issue is that we don't have food for him.
Hey, Mug. Have you been like fending for yourself while you've been traveling? Like gathering your own food?
And he says, yes, Mog eat tree, eat rock, eat small creature, eat dirt, eat, sometimes Mog eat, Mog own, um, yeah, but Mog always still
Ew.
hungry.
Ooh. It's like you always. Well, I imagine with a diet like that, that would be make anyone hungry. So,
He says, Mog walk a lot to get hungry, so Mog eat. But Mog can't stop walk. We're gonna find Mog.
it's just like, well, if you're able to keep yourself fed by eating trees and such, I suppose we could bring you with us if you have nothing better to do.
I don't know. Mog like colorful Humy.
Well, if they are willing to take you, then
Wow, Alexa more than us. We did burn him.
yeah. It's
And
just, it,
yeah, I think like you've been having this conversation kind of in the middle of the camp, and
yeah.
Riker's like, well, he certainly has a large appetite, but imagine, he says, the world's only traveling troupe with a giant entertainer. I can see it now. And he says, I'm sure we could handle the big boy.
It's just like that would be much appreciated. I'm sure on all sides, all accounts. I say. It's just
Like Mog is just like clapping. It's like Mog don't know what entertainer mean, but Mog like small folks.
Wonderful. Let's celebrate with a drink. Alexei cracks the bottle.
Yeah, go ahead. Quill has just this face of like, oh shit, here we go again.
It's bedtime.
Yes, I suppose. Actually, it's like, it's quite late, Alexei. Says.
Are those guys going to bed? The traveling troupe?
Some of them are.
I'll stay up with the rest then.
I'll keep watch.
Okay.
Glug, 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 glug.
So it's basically we'll just kind of through the rest of the night, who's like staying up and who's actually like getting some sleep.
I'm sleeping.
I'm sleeping.
Apparently not.
What do you mean apparently not?
Well, we gotta stay up with these guys.
All right, yeah. No, I'm keeping a watch for a bit, and then I'm going to stay up
Um,
and party.
for those of you who are like sleeping, it's hard to get to sleep at first with all the noise and commotion, but you eventually do like settle down and like get some sleep. In the meantime, Alexei and Alquil, you stay up the night, continuing to party into the wee hours of the morning. And yeah, why don't you, Alquil, give me Alquil and Alexei, give me perception checks. Alexei with disadvantage.
Sounds good to me. Well, is it rolling? Yep, there we go.
Yep. All right, so Alexei is completely oblivious. Alquil, so this is basically like the night ends.
Morning's coming.
Can Alexei and Alquil also give me con saves? First thing in the morning. Okay, you're both fine, so you don't suffer any of the ill effects of staying up for just one night. So yeah, everybody's like kind of like your companions are like rousing in the morning, and the sun is kind of shining high up above early on, as it does at this time of year, and as everybody's like breaking up camp, you can see it's taking a while. Like the performers are like breaking down their camp and like getting it all packed up. Like obviously, such a large group of people traveling takes much longer than a smaller group like yourself. And they're sort of like talking with Mog like first thing in the morning, and they seem to be like getting along quite well. Although you're not quite sure like Mog actually understands like like what he's like a part of now, but he seems like happy enough. And yeah, like they're basically like almost right away, like treating him like another member of the family. And yeah, as they're doing that, first thing in the morning, you all feel the ground begin to like rumble again. Um,
Is it Mog?
no, Mog's not like moving at all. And you feel like more like rumbling. And it's more and it's like more intense. And like you hear like something crack and like the sound of like a tree like cracking and breaking and falling over.
Huh?
I think it's time to bounce.
Yeah, I was just like, sounds like there's more giants on the way. I yell out over to the other camp as well.
And they sort of say, well, we're packing up as quick as we can, but he says, I don't think we can support more than one of them. He says,
And like I'm looking around, we don't know if these will be friendly or not.
Yeah, I don't think these are the supporting kind.
So, well,
Good luck.
good luck.
I'll say in Alquil's head, maybe we should go.
This is like, what, like leave these folks to take care of the giants by themselves? Like, okay, we don't know if the giants going to be friendly or not.
We are the ones that the giants are chasing.
Well, if it's the frost giants, is there any way to like get a better like viewpoint to like look around and see if we can see where this giant is?
there's like some hills you could maybe like climb up the top of and like
I'll quickly run up the hill to like try to
Alright.
like get a better.
So you like quickly run up the hill. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Right.
Okay. So you kind of like look around to where the rumbling is coming from, and you could see like these pine trees that are like there near camp, like breaking and falling over, and you catch glimpses in the midst of the trees, um, of these large, giant creatures, very like similar in appearance to Mog, like big, fat, stupid looking. They've got like they have like big. They're like dragging big clubs behind them that are basically made of broken trees, and some of them have like smaller trees like strapped around their arms as like makeshift armor. Um, and they are also joined by a number of like smaller creatures that are like moving with them. And as you like see them, you hear this like guttural like shouting kind of echo over the landscape, and you hear this voice just going, "Mog, where are you? We find Mog, bring back." And you see like Mog kind of like place his hands in front of his face and say, "Mog, no here, wrong camp, go away."
I shout back over to them like, "These looks like it looks like it's Mog's tribesmen," I says, "and they're here for Mog."
And Mog looks over and is like, "Mog no want go with tribe." Ugh.
I agree. Mog no go with tribe. I say as I start getting ready.
How many were there, Alquill?
How many were there, GM?
There was 2 of the like giant figures, and you couldn't really count how many of the smaller figures were amongst them.
It's like
All right.
two giants and several smaller creatures.
I summon my longbow and take advantage of not where they're coming.
Yep.
All right, so
So
let us go here.
are we gonna have combat now, or with 15 minutes left, or?
Yeah, I think we're just going to we'll set the scene basically as things come to a close here. So as you guys are like gathered around, like obviously you like know this is coming. Up ahead, in the out from the trees, you just see a number of the trees like crack and break over, like falling over. And from like out of the trees, you see um, what looks like two hill giants, accompanied by a couple of ogres and some bugbears. Um, all of them like similarly like basically like plainly dressed in like leathers and rags, and the two giants are like wielding their clubs, and as they like come through, they like look around and like see Mog, and one of them just points like, "We find Mog, you come back with," and then Mog's just like, "No, Mog, no go," and the other
Oh.
giant's like, "Then Mog, traitor, Mog, die!" And yeah, they like clearly like begin to. It's like a short like exchange, but there's not a whole lot of persuasion that happens between the giants. It's like, come, no, all right, die.
I love
And,
this so much.
Who-
and
I'm not
next
sure if
time,
well,
we will pick up with the battle of.
I'm pretty sure we fought bugbears in the past. I think I've seen them before. Either that or we just fought goblins, hobgoblins.
It was hobgoblins.
Yeah, that was a hobgoblin. I'm not sure if I've ever seen an ogre in Icewind Dale.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, so it's just like I'm just like, holy shit, what are these creatures? But like two giants, sure. There's like smaller giants and hairy giants, or hairy small giant.
Is that what a
And
giant child looks like?
we will pick this up next week with the battle against these hill giants coming to take Mog back.
Luckily, we'll have a hill giant of our own.
Think he's gonna fight?
No.
All right. So thank you all for playing, and I'll see you same time next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Ciao.